Favor. This is one more, please. Hello, and welcome to Otra Por Favor,
Otra Por Favor,
episodio 56.
56.
How are you today, Coque?
I'm doing amazing, man, and even better that we have these wonderful guests at our side.
Yes, they're awesome dudes that we've known for a while. When one of them is actually part of your family.
Yes, yes, sir.
But before we introduce them, let me share something that we are doing different. And this podcast, you guys know that we talk about life, culture, and soccer. So our goal was to create a space where people can come in. Now that the MLS brought in a lot of new fans with different perspectives, this different way of putting or looking at the game or analyzing the game. Our goal is to bring those perspectives into the studio, and this will be an open. Once we're done, we're gonna have an open invitation for everyone that wants to come in and wants to share their thoughts on the game. A lot of that is going to be done through, analysis, statistics. What do they think? Whether they watched the game for a while or whether they just started watching the game this season or last season, and get their ideas and something that we can probably take away from, we can learn from, and also it would just be out of respect in which we would have a little bit of banter, but it won't be a place where we get into fights and. It won't be a fútbol picante type of thing. We'll just be coming over here, talk about soccer, drink a beer or two, and that's it, and maybe some tacos. But yeah, in our studio today, we have Alexis and Ram. Ram, can you guys introduce yourselves really very quick, very briefly?
My name is Alexis Fernandez, and this is my family right here. Both of our wives are sisters, so sister wives.
Sister wives.
Yeah, man. And he's an uncle now to
Yes,
my daughter.
sir. Yes.
So that's my boy. I known him for a minute now. I've been in Austin now since 2006, so I definitely consider myself an Austinite. It's the longest place I've ever lived. And the fact that we got a soccer team now, a professional team that we can root for, I'm all about it, man.
Nice. And how about you, Ram?
Ramiro Guerra. I've known Jorge for, 4 or 5 years, maybe a little longer.
A little longer, man. I'd say 5 or 6.
Okay, 5 or 6. We used to live together, actually.
Yeah.
I've known Alexis probably way longer than that from our UT days. Yeah. I've lived in Austin since 2003, so I was already here a little bit before Alexis got here. But we've known each other. I've known Alexis since, we both went to UT. Watching Longhorn games. And just as he said, I remember when Austin FC was a concept. Mm-hmm. I remember winning a T-shirt at the bar that in a raffle. Austin FC marketing team was going around just trying to get people excited about the game and about the team. And it hadn't been made official yet. And I remember winning the shirt, and the guy was like, well, you're one of 2 people who actually signed up, so you automatically won the shirt. So I thought I was so excited back then when it was again just a concept. So just now where we are, where we're at now, it's just incredible. The fact that I'm in here in a studio talking to you guys about it, it's great.
It's a special thing, man. A little bit about these two gents. They're both lovers of the game. Anything that has to do with the ball, they fucking love it. They love football. They love basketball. They love baseball. And it's such a nice thing to know that, all right, 6 years ago, I was living in a house that actually Alexis owns right here by close to the stadium.
Right by the stadium.
Right, okay. Walking distance from the stadium. We would sit around a couch and watch sports and talk about sports. And it was a beautiful time because Ramiro actually started to get into the Premier League and into soccer, as a new fan of Fútbol. Mm-hmm. And to see that bloom with him, and then also with Alexis, once the Austin FC team has come in, has just created an additional bond in our friendship that we can actually have this space and share our thoughts on the game and share our thoughts on the game that we all love. So, welcome you guys. I'm so happy to have you.
And Ramiro, can you share your Premier League team? Because I know you just picked it up a couple years ago, right?
The Arsenal, 2018 actually.
2018.
Hey man, put some respect on his name, bro.
The first time, so like I probably started watching Premier League though maybe 7 or 8 years. Not so much, not a lot. Like not all the games were on TV. I would just kind of watch whatever was on. 2014 was probably like the big catalyst of like when I really started watching football because of the World Cup. And so, all these names, and you would hear the names being, and you would hear the players' names and what team they played for, and a ton of them played for the Premier League. So I was like, all right, I got to catch this. Didn't really pick a team until probably I started when I lived with you and our buddy, remember Oliver?
Oliver Babcock.
So yeah, just to kind of go further into what Jorge was talking about, like, I would wake up in the morning. These guys were up watching the games, probably like 2 games deep already by 9 a.m. because, us
6:30 kickoffs.
Yeah, because Premier League games started like at 6:30. So I would just watch with them. Like, didn't really have a team. Would watch a lot of Manchester United or Liverpool because, again, those are the big names.
And Oliver was a Liverpool fan. I'm a Man U fan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately now.
Yeah. So I'm watching with them, and I'm going through the emotional roller coaster with them. But for me, it wasn't about like having a tie to a team. It was more just enjoying the athleticism. Some of the, I remember the first player I remember watching and just being amazed by was like Sadio Mane, Liverpool, and Paul Pogba from Manchester United. Like those are 2 like players that just I can still remember like caught my eye, most recently. And then I picked Arsenal, really good friend of mine, Chris Rubio, who I'm pretty sure you guys are going to have on the show eventually.
For sure. Future guest of the pod.
The one that helped us correct the Community Shield.
Supporter
Shield.
That guy, that guy I've known since 2003 as well. We both came to UT together. We're from the same part of the Valley. And he's always been an Arsenal fan. It never registered to me to like follow him or care about him. And then, like I said, after a few years of watching with these guys, I was just like, hey, man, like, can I go watch a game at the bar with you guys and just root for Arsenal? He was like, yeah, dude, just show up and you'll be fine. And it's just been all
Arsenal since then.
All Arsenal since then, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Can you turn off the light?
This light?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
We're about to get sexy in here.
All right.
Now the mood's been set.
Brought the mood down.
I like it.
How's it going now?
Nah, man, but no.
So the reason why is because we're about to get into the Alexis part. He got some stories. Alexis, how did you get involved with football?
Man, as a kid, my dad loved football.
Okay.
We didn't have the best relationship, but he definitely instilled some football love in me. I remember being like 7 years old or something and being a part of an undefeated squad. We came on the paper. I thought I was like the best defender in the world.
Alexis center back.
Man. Put me in, coach.
Alexis Gabrielson.
Yeah, man. Hey, you saw him drop that guy?
Oh,
hey.
That's Alexis at the bars on 6th Street.
Alexis, sending him
I've heard stories.
Gabrielson's DMs like, hey, this is how you do it. Bang.
Don't come at my boy Ram at the bar, bro. I got you. But
Ram Driussi.
Okay, with the little Band-Aid in there, somebody got him.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Gotta protect
Alexis always got my back. Alexis the enforcer.
Always.
Because he was the same height when he was a kid.
Yeah.
That's why they went undefeated.
6'1".
He was always 6'1".
Steamrolling.
Yeah.
You know how y'all talk about Coque, how he plays?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me right there.
That was you? Okay.
I was just like that tall, though.
Yeah.
Right.
But my dad was a big Chivas fan.
Okay.
Big Chivas
Sorry to hear about that.
Guadalajara,
fan.
baby.
I grew up hating America. Didn't even know why.
Que chingue su madre, dijo Alexis.
Hey, la podemos, pero con más títulos.
But you know what? My dad liked them because they had the all-Mexican squad back in the day. And how could I not, how could I hate that?
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah. You're talking to me the only team that has the Mexican players? I'm all about that.
Yeah.
So I used to have jerseys and everything. But you know what? I was a casual fan, to be honest, right? I was a little kid. I didn't know. I knew names, right? But I didn't know anything about the sport for real.
Right. How old were you whenever you heard about Chivas and you first realized Chivas was your team?
Man, maybe 5 years old. I mean, as soon as I can. But I like playing the sport more than watching the sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Pickup soccer, putting the cones and trash cans everywhere. I was way about that, way more about that.
You grew up in what area of Texas?
So I didn't grow up in Texas. I was born in Cali. When I was 1, I moved to Chicago.
Okay.
And then I spent 9 years there, moved to L.A., spent 6 years there, moved to the Valley, like Ram over here, McAllen, Texas. And then I came up to go to UT for school.
Right.
And so where I was doing most of my soccer playing was in, like, the suburbs of Chicago.
The suburbs of Chicago.
A lot of raza over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, man.
I just got back, and what an incredible city, man. Dude.
Hey.
Lucky for you to have seen it and grown up there, and I enjoyed a few days there. It's my first time, but I'm definitely gonna go back. And like you said, mucha raza, chingo de raza.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
The Mexican food in Chicago is actually very good
It's
because
good.
it comes from the central part of Mexico.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like here in Texas, we get a lot of Saltillo, a lot of north part.
Yeah.
In California and Chicago and Colorado, get more of that, West Coast, central part, and amazing.
I'm not going to lie. I love Texas with all my heart, right?
Right.
My daughter's now an official Austinite, right? My
Okay.
sister's a Texan.
Yeah.
But Cali Mexican food.
Oh, it's
I'm
better.
Sorry,
Yeah.
bro.
It is better.
It
It
is
is.
hands down.
I've yet to go to Cali and experience
Dude,
it. but
tacos
I'll-
estilo Tijuana, bro.
I'll take your word for it.
Una birria de consomé, pero no de taco quesibirria, una birria de que acá agarras la tortilla y como
all the flavors, all the juices.
ándale.
And what's great is you get to try all the styles of Mexico.
Yeah.
Just like you said, in South Texas especially, it's very much one style all the time.
Estilo norteño, more or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
Una buena carne asada, you get it good here.
And my mom's from Nuevo Leon, so I love the norteño style.
there
You
you
know what I mean?
El cabrito.
Chivito,
Yeah.
cabrito,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
day. Yeah.
Alexis is pretty big on the grill himself. I think
Yeah.
that became a part of him that he solely identifies with and like really kills it. We actually killed it last Thanksgiving with making a turkey, bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fucking best
So
smoked turkey.
I do have
ever.
a question when people are in the grill and they kill it. Whenever you go to like gathering, someone else's house,
Yeah.
are you the type that que, hey, wait, muévela acá, or you just let the griller be?
You just let them do their thing.
Nah.
Are you judging
Bro,
them?
I'm too
Or are you
nosy, bro.
No.
I'll speak to this because Alexis has been over to my place and
Yeah.
I'm grilling, and he's definitely looking over my shoulder.
Okay.
He's trying to be very respectful.
Yeah,
He doesn't want to get in my shit, but I know I can hear the gears turning in his head. He's like,
And then he's gonna drop a suggestion like, "Hey, why don't you try this?"
he
or
shouldn't
do
have done that. Yeah.
Like,
No, which is good. It's good. It's
but
cool.
do your
You know?
thing. Do your thing. No,
But when he tries it and he tells you like, man, this is fucking good. This is really fucking good. Like
I'm being honest.
It means a
Honest
lot
as
more coming from a guy
Yeah,
like
that's
this.
good. That's good.
But you know what? You teach me things, man. Because you be
There we
using
go.
new styles that I never even tried before. You're like,
Se pone la
your
carne,
teriyaki
se la
thing
pasa
that
en
you
el
did?
sobaco,
Clean,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Clean.
Appreciate
That's
it.
something I wouldn't
Appreciate it.
I'm a little more with the rubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Limon, naranja, but
Tajín, chingue su madre.
yeah, bro.
We've had a lot of cookouts, and we'll have a lot of future cookouts, man. I can't wait to get into them. But
That's good, man.
that's cool hearing where your love for soccer kind of came from, kind of grew. But this was like early on, right? So you said you weren't fully committed. So at what point in your life did you get, all right, this is a sport that I'm going to love and really dedicate some time to?
You know what? I spent a lot of time loving, American football. Loving American football. Went to UT, obviously, the height of Vince Young, Colt McCoy.
Yeah,
all
good years.
greats,
The good years.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many tailgates.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing. Like,
So many games attended.
Oh, the Longhorns, some would call them the Manchester United of the NCAA.
well, the current. Well, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, just to kind of, I don't want to interject or whatever.
No, you're good, you're good.
But like, same exact thing with about. I feel like I know where Alexis is going to go
Yeah.
with this because same thing. American football's always been. I mean, growing up in the Valley, there's not so much soccer. It's mostly like Dallas Cowboys
Right.
or Houston Texans or Houston Oilers or whatever their rival is.
Right.
So that's kind of what I was all about. And I almost feel like, it's a little bit bittersweet because, you catch on at such a late time and you missed a lot of the great stuff going on in the past decade or decade and a half. But always been a fan of like, the World Cup tournaments, men's and women's. In fact, I think the first game I remember watching was the Women's World Cup, the USA and China final. in 99 Rose Bowl
99.
because it's in July and it was right around my birthday. So like anything happening in July around my birthday is like, oh, this is
Pretty
event.
memorable.
Like, cool. So like I remember that being like maybe the first like seed of stuff. And then as Alexis is saying, like football, man, American football all that time.
Man.
And so
Cowboys fan. Sorry to everybody.
Same
that's
thing, Cowboys
not
fan.
a Cowboys fan. You know,
What are you, Coke? Are you Cowboys?
Nah, man, I'm pretty neutral when it comes to the football side. Obviously,
he wore the jersey. One day.
obviously, I went to UT, so I'm a Longhorn fan all day, every day. And I did go to a Cowboys game thanks to my man here, Alexis.
Yes,
and the stipulation was I had to wear the jersey for the photo.
Nice.
So all my Houston
looked
buddies
good,
were
looked
talking
good.
shit like, I can't believe you, bro.
you did the right thing.
But it was a great time.
Right side.
But
Nice.
one thing that caught my eye about like Alexis's fandom for football is he would do these like Snapchat updates.
Yeah.
The Snapchat updates, man. So he would get on Snapchat and he would update like, this is what's happening right now. Like, this is what I think. You know, this is a score. Like, constant updates throughout the game, and it became such a thing that when I was watching the Longhorns play, I would pull up my Snapchat and see what Alexis had to say because I wanted to hear his perspective. So I knew that, okay, if this man, knowing how he is to put his level of energy into a sport, into a game, if he's going to bring that into the world of soccer, he's going to be a great fan.
He made he made the dark days of Texas Longhorns football fun. Like I'll say that much.
Yeah.
I think because I know you were heavy doing that during the Charlie Strong era. Like I really
Yeah, I
remember
wasn't
that.
doing that during the Colt McCoy era.
And I just
was too busy living it
Snapchat,
up, bro.
Snapchat, and then there's no Snapchat, but like I remember when we were all using it, like I would do the same thing. I would just be like, okay, let's see what Alexis has to say. Let me look through it, or I would maybe forget about it during the game and then go back like the next day, like oh shit, they're all still there. Let me see what he's got to say and just follow the roller coaster of emotions as it went on. I'm like relive it because of him and
roller coaster.
Yeah, dude.
It's Charlie
So, yeah,
Strong.
it's-
Is that's the coach?
He's a former coach.
Former coach.
Like 4 coaches
They didn't
ago.
do too
Coach.
hot.
The was it the one that always had like a turtleneck and
Yeah,
ball headed?
turtleneck. Yeah,
My
yeah,
wife, she actually like one day we were at the game and she's like, "Man, I bet he has a tattoo and they want him to cover it. He probably has like another team's name in here."
Nah. I think he's just a classy dude, man.
Yeah.
He was like a military dude. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like woke up every single morning, did his miles runs, all that. Now we got Sarkeesian. So
What do you think?
All gas, no brakes, baby.
All gas, no brakes.
Kind of like
That's where he takes us.
this FC team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all
Yeah,
gas, no
that's
brakes.
exactly. I didn't want to use those words just because a lot of people get mad
No,
when you
it is.
associate
That's what it is,
Longhorns
bro.
and Austin FC.
Okay,
You
I
can't.
mean,
Yeah.
you
No,
you-
it's all good.
You
It's
could
all
get weird, but I mean,
okay.
if it's a true analogy,
If it
like
makes
if there are
sense,
similarities,
yeah,
then yeah, you can
right.
bring.
If
it
you got
up.
something that that goes in line with what you're talking about, then it's respectful. Yeah.
But to go back to your question, when it came to football, as the years went on, as I got older, I started really seeing it for what it is at the end of the day. These are gladiators in an arena knocking heads. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, obviously, there's a finesse to the game. There's a beauty to the game and all that. But I never really appreciated the game of soccer until I started kind of opening my eyes to some of that, of that sport. And I wanted to get involved some more and get back into the soccer world, but I really hated the idea of jumping on a La Liga team, a Premier team across the world. Even though I love Spain, I visited Spain, it's amazing. I didn't know how I could become a fan. Like, I'm a UT fan.
Okay.
Living here, going to school here, putting money, heart, energy into it.
investing your dollars are going
Invested.
towards that program.
Invested. And be cheering for Barcelona. Of course, he got some of the best players in the world, right?
Yeah.
But so when right around the time I was making that decision, like, do I want to jump on this? Do I want to jump on this? Here comes Austin FC rolling around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The announcement's made. My buddies and I, some coworkers, we start talking about season tickets. We're like, yo, we need to get on this because at those times, you needed to be prepared.
Yeah.
I know so many people that thought it was going to be a cakewalk to get season tickets, and they kind of took it for granted, and now they're out here on the sidelines trying to get tickets to every single game.
Yeah.
And so we got ourselves organized, we got ourselves some tickets, and the more that time passes, every single day that passes, every single game, when before I used to think like, oh, I want to be able to make it to every game. Now it's like I have to make it to every game. Well, I have to.
I'll tell you how you can pick a team from across the world is you just got to find the group here.
You're right.
And because that's what I did, like at the time when it was time to figure it out. I'll even admit, like before I picked Arsenal, the team I ended up picking before them was Everton, but because of Tim Howard.
Okay.
Right? Because so USA, like it was probably, I don't know if it was the 2014 World Cup, but maybe the one before that. He had that excellent game against Belgium.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
classic.
This is the guy. And then I find out, okay, he plays at Everton. I'll pick them. Like, that's not a team I even knew about. But what happened was, they were never on TV. Mm-hmm. I didn't know where any other fan was.
It's hard to follow them here.
It's just kind of hard to follow. Right. So then when it fast forward a few years, and I didn't want to pick, like, Manchester United or Liverpool just because it was like,
they were at the peak.
Yeah. I was like, I kind of wanted to pick a team that
picking Alabama at that point.
Yeah, still kind of a big name where I'm gonna find a supporters group, but also just maybe someone on the come up. And when I decided to pick Arsenal, I just remember my first time going to the tavern here in Austin on 12th and Lamar, where we still watch the games now. But I went to the opening game.
ACA here.
Yeah, opening game of the 2018 season. We were playing Manchester City, who would eventually become the Premier League champions that year. And it was a 2-0 win for them. And it wasn't even close. It wasn't even competitive. It probably could have been 4-0. But I had so many beers and I had so much fun that by the end of it, I was just like, oh, wait, did we lose? Whatever, man. There's 38 more games. Like, I'm with the homies. I've already made, like, a bunch of friends. I'm already in the Facebook groups. Like, so it's just, that's ultimately it's all about the community you're a part of and the company you're with. And so
that's good, man.
Now I can't imagine, like, being a Liverpool fan. Maybe, United are some cool people. Like, I've met some cool United fans.
Even, like, say now, Neff, which is friends with, like, he's part of the We Are Austin TV.
Right.
He's actually starting the Real Madrid Peña here in Austin. And they started meeting the Hop Squad now. So, I mean, for me, I'm not a Real Madrid fan or a Barcelona fan, but hearing that, like, that's pretty badass.
Oh, nice.
Right. Because you're going to get a lot more people exposed to different type of football besides the one we have here. Yeah. Right. They're going to get to learn more about, like, why certain plays are done differently instead of, like, why didn't you just kick it?
Yeah.
Right. At the end of the day, someone's, like, new fans or people that don't watch the sport, they're always going to be like, why didn't you just kick it and, kick it from one end to the other and that's it? It's like, no, you have to
build there's a strategy.
Yeah, you have to build the play. Yeah. So now we're going to, go into the Austin FC part. And before we go into the game, let's talk about, in this section, this fan analysis, let's talk about the pre-match form for both teams. Austin FC played Sporting Kansas City. Austin FC came in with a win against Houston in July, then a draw against Dallas pretty much a couple of days after that. They lost against New York Red Bulls, and that was at home.
Yep.
That's a tough one.
That started the home trend.
The home trend.
Yeah.
But then they go to, Sporting Kansas City, and they beat them at their house, and then we come back and we draw against the Earthquakes. So we had a pretty balanced, only one loss in 5 games. That's 2 good. Wins, 2 draws, pretty good.
Getting points.
Came
That's a silver lining.
That was silver lining.
Yeah.
And Sporting Kansas City had a draw against Minnesota, and that's mid-July. They lost against Real Salt Lake. Mm-hmm. They lost against LAFC.
Good teams.
And they also lost against Minnesota. Hold on.
Wasn't it
the recent game they won?
Galaxy.
They beat LA Galaxy.
LA Galaxy.
LA Galaxy. Big.
So
big game for them.
There was another. I forgot to add the other team who they lost to. But anyways, so they won. Basically, they lost 3-1 and one game. So they had a little bit of an improvement as they were coming into Austin, and that made everyone shake a bit because Austin was having draws for a while at home. Only one win, and that was against Houston about a month ago. Everyone was cautious in this game because in the previous game against San Jose, everybody expected a blowout.
Right.
Everyone expected for us to win 5-0, 6-0, but then we had the draw that felt like a loss. And it actually, and then when you said like, it was a loss, it was a loss because you had the game right there. You lost points.
We dropped points.
You know what told me it was a loss? None of the players stayed after the game.
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah. They were upset.
The game ended. It shut down. Everyone walked away.
Walked to the tunnel.
Yeah.
We were in the support section, and I think
and
I was even like, no, let's stay because they're going to come and clap it up, and we're going to sing the songs, and we're going to, communicate and say we love you and they love us or whatever.
Right.
You're gonna
And
see
they
true
didn't stay.
love.
They were really
yeah.
upset. And I was just like, well, I guess they're not going to stay. But, I mean, fair enough. I mean,
you guys scored out the 88th minute.
yeah, it's a little bit
88th
heartbreaking.
minute.
If we were upset and we're just out there having a good time, like, you can imagine them, like,
Yeah.
exerting themselves and just
Right.
being completely
Yeah.
pissed off. Like,
I think for them it was a moment where we can't be like. It's hard for them to cheer. It's hard for them to receive the heartbeat song.
Yeah,
right, they're a little upset.
Whenever you had that moment of you got drawn on almost the last minute of the game.
And you know what? I'm comfortable. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
comfortable.
No, go
with
ahead,
that.
go ahead.
I'm comfortable with that shame a little bit because at the end of the day, that's what it is. Right?
Yeah, dude. I was gonna say a lot of times football can be very superstitious, man. And the more we start racking up negative results, the heavier it kind of weighs on the players and stuff. So I can see why after a result like the one in San Jose, they just didn't even want to be out there with the fans. They wanted to go and hear what Wolf had to say. Maybe didn't want to hear that. Just want to go home.
just forget about it.
Forget about it and move on. And that's kind of the feeling from the remarks they gave after the game, like, you know, we're going to reset this and that. So coming into this game, I think we were all a little bit more cautious. You know, I predicted a tie last game, and you know, luckily it wasn't a tie. But, man, dude, this game has so much to talk about, man. I can't wait to go into it.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go into the game. Austin FC won 4-3. Agonizing comeback, but another game that we played like further from behind. We were playing from behind.
Yeah.
For the rest of the game until like the 88th minute. How were you guys? Let's first, discuss where were you guys at during the game. Whether you were watching it like in the stadium, whether you were watching that away. I was at the stadium. I was doing photo. I came back after taking a week break. Were you at the stadium?
Yeah, I was at the it was in the supporter section.
Okay.
I forget what section. They're all kind of just blended in together. Not quite where the band is, maybe about 10, 15 rows above that.
Okay.
Like
Similar
the best
spot where we were last
Yeah,
time?
very similar spot. I love that spot. Best of both worlds. Like you get maximum,
The view's
audio. You
great.
get the view's great. I also like to be able to see like on the other side of the field. Like I've been real close and it's great. Like the atmosphere is amazing, but you can't see past
the
midfield
goal,
or something, right?
yeah.
And I like to go. Like I said, I'm a relatively newer football fan, so I want to enjoy the atmosphere, but then at the same time, I want to watch and I want to see the movement and understand what's going on and get a feel for what, how the game goes, ups and downs. So, yeah, that's where I was, supporter section. Great time, though. I mean, yeah, it was incredible.
It was crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was in my usual section 131. That's where I got my season tickets. I got it with four other coworkers. We share kind of like 4 tickets amongst the 5 of us because we know it's impossible to go to every single game sometimes.
Smart.
You got family, you got work, you got things that are going on. And, man, it was exciting game.
The one coworker who didn't go, they were like, "Fuck."
Oh, yeah.
Or he walked out early. Or he or she walked out early.
I saw him on Sunday. I was like, you done messed up, man.
How do you guys decide who goes or what? Like, do you have to?
So we're all engineers, right?
Right.
So we got a complicated
They have an
system,
analysis.
Like, have you seen?
We have a complicated.
Have you seen
system.
Fever Pitch, the movie about the guy in the Boston Red Sox or whatever, and he has like a chart at the beginning?
Yeah.
Is that what you guys did?
Pretty
Like,
much.
you just charted out the games?
So
Or not?
one of my coworkers made a whole website himself
Of course.
for us to like be able to plug in like who
Available
has
times.
ticket for what seat and all that.
Yeah.
And then we have a everybody puts in what the number one game is all the way down to their least like probably gonna go to game,
Right.
And then so everyone kind of gets to go to the games that they're gonna probably get to be at,
Who's going to get the short straw for the LAFC game?
Oh, bro, that was like my number 3 game or something like that. Like,
You
I ain't
you
gonna
saw
miss
the
those
vision?
games. Yeah. No,
That's
it's
awesome, dude.
I can't wait for that game, but we'll get into that probably later.
That'd be pretty cool to share like more about it because I've never heard something like that.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome, and we just try to be as fair as humanly possible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that didn't go. All Sunday, I was just talking his ears off about.
Did you see the game?
How he done messed up.
Let's go back to the record. Now that we have a momentary favorable 54 goals.
Number 1 in the league.
Number 1 in the league, received goals. 34, which puts us up at number 5 or 6 in the league, received goals, and net 20. A good difference for what we've done. However, we've let a lot of goals that should not be a lot of goals that come from here's the one thing about soccer, football is it's a game of moments. Because it's continuous. There's no stoppage. You don't plan to play. Like take your time out and plan to play and then go for it again. You build it from a counterattack. You build it from from a rebound. You catch on those rebounds. So the first goal comes. There was a 2 to 3 minute sequence. Everything started in minute 8. The first 8 minutes were just fought in the, like say Austin FC facing Kansas City. They were fought in their their 1/4 of the field, and 1/3, like say the 3/4 of the field.
Right.
There was rarely any shots.
Everybody was compact.
Everyone was
right.
Right. So
It made it hard for Austin FC.
What I noticed, the game started intense, but it was super imprecise.
Yes.
The possession changed very quickly.
Like say
Kansas
you didn't see more than 2-3 passes completed.
And
They couldn't.
when Driussi would get the ball,
Right.
immediately
They llegaban dos,
press,
tres,
high press,
yeah.
bam.
Attack.
So
Right.
they kind of had a game plan like, this is the man, we got to stop. And
Well,
at least in the
they've
first
had a blueprint, and they've seen how
What
teams
they
have
can
played
do,
us
yeah.
the past 4 or 5 games, and they came in and executed it.
Yeah,
That's what I
and
thought.
and they weren't doing a lot of high pressing compared to other teams that played us,
That
especially at home.
strategy, Right.
They high press and they want to choke out Stuber, Lima, Cascante, Gabrielson, and Gallagher.
Now,
They
for,
were-
for the layman who might be listening to this, but like what high press just means like pressing like close to when you
Pressing
play for the
all
goal.
the way to the end of the goal.
if you're trying to play from
yeah.
the
like
back,
going
you
into
gotta
their
Yeah.
third, like having
Right.
the defense
Okay.
start from your forward. Your forward is the beginning of your defensive press. So
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah, for sure.
That's what pressing
I'm
is.
the
Right.
layman. Thank you.
Yeah, same here too. I don't know.
No, yeah,
there's
that's
a
good
lot,
shit, dude.
There's
That's
a
good
lot
shit.
of like terms that I still don't know, and I'm still learning.
So no, you're good.
Like a little story back at the tavern. I think the first 5 or 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 games, I would just pull up at the bar and just like, okay, what just happened? What does that mean? What is this? And I'm surprised that some of those people didn't like fucking break a bottle on my head.
They probably appreciated you asking the questions.
Well, yeah, 'cause
So there's one
So
thing
many
that
people assume everything.
yeah, that's one thing that I probably feel
Always
like
good to ask the question.
yeah,
Always
it's okay.
high
Yeah.
press. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
My buddy looks to me at the game, this past game, because I was talking about Driussi, and I was like, the brace that he got last week, and he's like, I'm so proud of you.
oh,
You know what a brace
you know what a brace is? Yeah, it took me a while to be like,
yeah.
wait, brace? What does that mean?
Shout out Tony.
Oh, he scored 2 goals? All right, contact.
So
clues.
like for me in English terms, the Spanish ones I know them all, but English I
Right.
still have to think about it. Like,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
what did
Me
you just
too.
say?
Like, I hear people talking about nutmegs,
Yeah, un túnel,
2 years
yeah.
ago or whatever, and I was like, un túnel? Is
Yeah.
that what you said?
Yeah.
All right, okay, I get it. But speaking about, how that whole sequence started, it started on such a positive note. Urruti and Driussi steal the ball, hustling. I hate when people talk about Maxi as if he's a player that doesn't hustle, because he's out there
he has-
hustling.
He has
Yeah.
max hustle.
Hustling.
Yeah.
Defense, offense, everything.
Max hustle for sure.
Right. Stole the ball, gets that shot, doesn't go his way. No. He puts it up for a ring. Ring misses. Right. And the most classic Ring thing of all time happens. Right. He comes hot-headed back onto the defense, and what?
He commits a foul. He commits a foul right at the edge of the box.
Right at the edge of the box. What does that do? Sets up a free
Sets up the
Free kick.
The
So-
free kick that started
Yeah.
first.
So in that play, whenever that breakaway happened, and I would say the first actual danger of the game, in both sides was Urruti getting the ball, and when they start attacking, they attack with 5. It was Fagundes, Urruti, Driussi,
They were loaded.
Ring, and I forgot the other one, but it was like and
Finley was probably
Finley,
on the side, yeah.
and Finley. So they were all coming in, and literally there was like a line of 5 of them.
Dude, it looked like something off of
And,
the
and
Mighty
then
Ducks.
four,
They were like-
four,
they were
four,
fucking
and
flying
then
flying V in
the
that
last
bitch.
back, the last 4 guys from Kansas City, and they're one midfielder. And by that time, they Driussi did the pass. Ring se le pasó.
Right.
It was like, God darn it! But everything started from that goal kick.
Right there.
That goal kick went pretty well. On the other side, which is like now on our side, very close to the Área Grande and the 18-yard box. Ring does the foul, but I think right before that, Lima is the one that deflected a shot.
Right.
And that was a pretty good the reaction from Lima, because instead of coming in the front, he looked at the ball, continued to look at the ball, but the ball, he hit his hands, so the ball can just hit like his leg. So that happened, and that's when the other player got the rebound. Ring comes, he takes, he commits the foul. Then there's a goal kick, and the goal kick took about a good 45 seconds for it to, actually happen. And a very good goal kick. I mean, they were reading Stuber. They were like, he's gonna
100%.
He's gonna rebound it, but he's gonna rebound it inside instead of going outside.
That's a hell of a spot.
let's talk about that free kick, man.
Like, that's a real difficult spot. I feel just watching, like, for any defense to defend, right? Because it's basically right outside the box.
Yeah.
So might as well be a penalty kick.
It's like full of.
As a layman, right, I'm sitting there,
Yeah.
right, and I see the screen, and I see them setting up the defensive line, right, and I see the guy that's going to come up to kick the ball is a right-footed kicker, right, and they put up the defensive line, and they leave a gap to the right side, and I'm talking to everybody around me, right, and I'm like, why would they leave a gap on a right-footed kicker on the right side? Right.
Well, I know they had it set up, and this was just from the commentary from the highlights, but they had a right-footed and a left-footed kicker kind of standing there. So
Right,
it was like,
yeah.
okay.
Tommy
Okay.
and
So what is that?
JR, Johnny Russell.
Johnny
Russell
and Tommy.
and Tommy.
Tommy,
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had
both
two
of them.
guys, and then the
Because they show the aerial view on the
Right.
big screen
the
over
commentator's like, is it the Russian or the German? I know it's like two different nationalities.
Scottish or the
Who's gonna
German.
do it? Yeah, so he's like, who's going to do it? And I'm like, oh, yeah, who's going to do
And
it?
and looking at the free
there. So
kick
that makes a
now,
little more sense now.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's pretty central. So as a
They
keeper,
can both go. Yeah.
as a keeper, you always want to set the wall on one side of the goal and
Okay.
cover a post and leave a little bit of a
I
gap
see.
to
How
where
do
the
you
wall
pick
is.
that side?
You usually determine on where the ball is. So if it's like towards the right, you're gonna put the wall towards the right, and you're gonna guard the left. If it's towards the left, you're gonna put
go
the
the
wall towards
opposite
the left,
side.
and you're
Yeah.
gonna guard
So
the
you
right.
think the defending the more
You're going to make him make the difficult shot or try to make
the
it?
more
Yeah.
dangerous player?
You're gonna want to force him to make a comba.
Yeah, you're gonna want
But
them
that's exactly what.
to force like a shot. But that's supposedly the goal, the side that you cover, the side
Right,
that
yeah.
you're for sure gonna be.
Yeah.
And looking at this, like it was a central shot powerfully, had a little bit of
Rocket.
had a knuckle in it.
It
But
was hard.
an elite keeper does better there.
Right.
Holds it.
He punts it, even if he doesn't hold it, he'll punt it out.
But
So
towards
Ochoa
the
would have,
side.
pa'
J-
fuera.
just to, no disrespect to
Out.
anybody
Yeah.
on our team, obviously, but like,
No, hell no, it's not.
I don't think anybody on our team is elite. Like, we are
With the exception of
Driussi is
Driussi.
with the
elite.
okay, yeah, touche.
Yes.
With the exception of Driussi,
Yes.
but
Right.
like, again, and this, we might talk about this later on, but this team is second team or second year with this team of these guys together.
It's a composition.
Yeah, the composition of the players we have on our team is a bunch of not cast-offs. I guess it was a better word.
it's a
little bit of a
build.
misfits.
Yeah, it's a little bit of
misfits.
misfits.
There we
Yeah.
go. We have a misfit team.
That's what we.
And I love that.
And I love
Yeah.
it. That's
that.
what makes me
It's
love this
perfect.
team. But and then Brad Stuver kind of epitomizes that, because if you look at his career numbers, before he joined us, he had 29 total starts in 10 seasons, and then he just eclipsed that his first year. Right now, this
Yeah.
is the first time he's ever been a week in, week out.
He's been the man.
Starter. Yeah. So. Yeah, we're seeing. I see the replay. Like, he probably should have caught it, and you see a lot of like the criticisms, like an elite keeper does this, elite does that. Like, fair enough. Yeah,
Well, we
you're
don't
right.
got an
But he's done a lot of
But
saves.
Yeah,
that,
he's
you
done a
know.
lot.
He
of good
saved our
saves.
ass a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And
This game itself.
this
Yeah,
is
right.
This is just
Yeah.
This is just MLS at its purest form, is what it ultimately comes down to. Like, it's how they call Pac-12 after dark college football, like, because it's just all the Pac-12 games are like 55-54, like,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
I heard a
crazy
lot of people
stuff.
say it like that.
Yeah, MLS after dark. This is like what exactly we saw 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Like, it's an incredible. It's fun to watch, and it's also frustrating when you're at the
Right.
short end of it. But yeah, if that's my man Aaron Ramsdale, like, he's catching that, or
if there's-
or pumping that up
Yeah.
over the goalie.
If there's one thing from that
corner
play, it's the rebound that happened on Stuber's right side.
Correct.
They're covering pretty much everything in the middle, or very close to the left. Only one player from our team, Pereira, he's on the right side of the wall.
Yeah.
And 3 players from Sporting are there just in case of the rebound, because they know he's going to either go central or go, like say whenever he stops the ball, they're like he's gonna stop it, but the rebound is the one they're like, hey, whenever he rebounds like out, he's gonna rebound pretty close to this space right here.
You gotta be aware of it.
They knew that was gonna happen. Like they because of the way they were standing, the way they like that the guy that shot the ball, the goal kick, I mean the free kick, he was reading Stuber from the moment he got the ball. He already knew what was gonna happen, and that's a very legit way of reading a play.
At what point do you decide if you're up there, like talking to each other, pointing or whatever? Who do you decide who takes the kick? Like, do you say like, all right, you got it?
A lot of times it's up to the player. There's always one player that's going to be like, I'm going to take it, and usually it's given. It's if you feel it. If you vocally say that you're going to take it, usually it's given. Unless there's some type of seniority or some type of like specified free kick shooter, it's usually given on like who feels like they got the good. Like what they're talking about. That's what they're talking about.
I would assume it's what the other team's giving you, right? So if we give up that space, they're like, I'd rather the ball bounce off of Stu than off of the defensive men that are there.
Right.
And
so
that's exactly
on that
happened.
one, a right-footed player, like the guy who shot it, that he did exactly what
he was supposed
to do. A left-footed player
to his left.
maybe would have tried to hit it over the wall, like have a nice finesse shot. But
he did a little sort of a crossed shot, like una cruzadita, because he's like, I'm either gonna go in that gap where he can miss it, or I'm gonna make him, stop it. But he's not gonna stop with his hand. He's gonna just he's gonna punch it out.
From my perspective at the game, I couldn't really tell, why there was no one there to help defend. After the rebound, watching the replay again, I watched the whole game again last night, and watching the game again, you talk about Danny, Pereira being there and not moving quick enough, maybe. Yeah. No one moved.
They stayed.
No one moved.
The only one who moved immediately was Driussi when he looked at the ref. Was like, is that offside?
Yeah, you moved to
they all stayed.
Every single guy stood still and said, was that offside?
Well, I mean, it's well executed by the opposing team. Like, fair enough. Like they figured like they were read. There's probably, as you said, they were reading him. There's definitely some film, and they've definitely picked that up in the tactics sessions or whatever they do in the back of the house or whatever. Like, that felt very like we got just out schemed, out coached.
Yeah, anytime there's a set play, it comes down to what you're saying. It comes down to who studied it more, who's going to execute that specific moment, and who's going to be flat-footed like we were. Yeah, like we were flat-footed, but it was a tough shot. Stu gave it right back to them, and they were quicker, they were faster, they knew what they were doing. Whereas we were reactive, and they were proactive. Like they knew what they were going to do. They had the game plan. They executed.
All of it is fine if Stuver if he catches it. Now it's a difficult thing to catch, right? Very simple, right? Just catch the ball. Well, I mean, he tried, and it didn't do it.
It'd be cool to know how fast these balls are going.
Yeah, like that shit was fast, man. Like
that shit was powerful.
Yeah, and a lot of them didn't hide it. They're. I mean, they're. I don't know if. From what I've heard in the past is when they inflate them with gas.
Right.
So
Tom Brady out there, huh?
Yeah. Possibly, right? But I mean, so now the second goal was sort of a similar situation, more so in the defense because it was a long, ball from the middle of the field.
Gran Susi. El
Gran Susi. El San Susi. He makes a nice pass. It goes over the defenders.
Fucking badass pass.
And by the time the forward, what was the forward's name? I forgot his name. But he read the ball pretty well where it went over our defenders.
Right.
La para y pum, le pega. Y cuando le pega, like another rebound. And but in this one, instead of Cascante closing in, because Cascante was right in front of him.
Yes.
Cascante stayed thinking he's gonna keep going. Dribbling. He's gonna stop it, dribble, and try to shoot.
Right.
But he did not expect. He did not expect that. Like, it was like a millisecond shot.
Was it Agada?
Agada scored the second goal, but that pass by Gran Susi was amazing. Yeah. The way his forward brings it down.
That first touch was.
It was what Irruti did in one of the away games.
Yeah, man.
Very similar.
And Stu with a
Control.
badass save.
Yeah, he did.
But
he
the
tried
the
two
rebound,
saves, yeah.
the rebound, I felt like
Right out there.
if maybe if he would have thrown himself, he would have got there.
Yeah.
But he tried going with his foot.
Well, but here's where I like. This is my one thing whenever I'm watching football, like regardless of who I'm watching, right? Could be my team or not, whatever. I always just in my head think like, just shoot the ball. Like at some point, just get it into the box and just shoot it because who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And this one, like, he gave it a shot. It deflected, and the guy who's running up there,
Immediate shot.
easy shot for him. I mean, but it's not easy unless the first guy shoots it, unless he is hustling. But if this guy wants to decide to pull up and get fancy and pass it for a better shot, like
Cortarlo,
You know.
o es una jugada, un estilo de Driussi.
like,
Yeah.
you know, and I remember even like, you know, we'll get to this in a minute, but like later in the game as it kept going, I just remember watching like, for the love of God, just get it in the box or just somebody shoot it because who cares if it's not the perfect shot? You might just get lucky and there's people all over the place and somebody's going to miss something. Could be a handball, could be a deflection, and boom, you get a goal. And that's
So guys, let's talk about
Chaos,
this.
man.
Let's talk about this long ball right down, splits our defender, splits Gabrielson, and it splits Cascante. After that first shot, that rebound, Agada gets it. Cascante looks a little bit slow on the closing out. Do you think our center backs have a? Do you think they have an issue with speed, or is it something that they just played so many minutes and they haven't been given enough rotation?
No, I think they they take the situation for granted. They don't think that teams are going to attack them hard. They think teams are going to play them a little bit like how we play, a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more two-touch action, right? But the guy didn't take any hesitation. He took the shot. You know, when the first goal was a team, you know, loss in the sense of everyone messed up on that first goal, right? Nobody moved. Stuver should have punched it out wide. He didn't. The second goal, all defense. Stuver saved the ball on the first go-around. And
his job, yeah.
the second go-around, Lima is jogging back. Look back at the play. Lima is jogging back as they're attacking us. Cascante isn't positioning
He's coming
himself.
out from another play inside.
Yeah. He's thinking, I got all the time in the world to get there. They're going to try to set up a shot. You know, Cascante's thinking, I got 2 or 3 seconds so that I can get myself in position. Like it's hard.
Right.
They were thinking because there's only one guy against 4 of us.
Right.
We're gonna be, you know, able to catch him in the moment. But Agada just, you know, he took advantage of the situation.
The Nigerian man
Yo.
Took advantage of that, you know.
came from playing in Israel.
Oh, damn.
Tel Aviv.
That's crazy. I'd never heard of a player that came from Israel.
It's probably the biggest crowd he's ever played for.
He's
in his
killing
life.
it. He's killing it.
man.
He's killing it ever since I think he got to Kansas City. But so we're down 2-1. Minute 22. What's the feeling in the stadium like being down early so quick?
It was
Well,
from
we're down 2-1 or 2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
It was like say when like down there they were still going at it, but you started seeing you can always see people's reaction as they're just like,
Come on.
It's a
Like,
23rd
used to
minute,
it.
you know.
It's early.
Immediately my first thought is it's early.
Yeah.
We've been down 2-0. We're at home. We got the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing being down 2-0 and the crowd's working against you.
yeah.
You
I
know
will
what
say
mean?
this in the supporters section. Obviously, like the band's always going to just constantly play. They're never going to
Yeah.
stop. I know around where I was, a lot of us just kind of hands over the face, like fuck.
Yeah.
Here we go again. But then at the same time, it's like, all right, it's all good. What song are we on? Okay, let's keep going. Because yes, it's early. We've seen this before. I can say in hindsight, I never had any doubt. But at this point, for sure, I didn't have any doubt. Because I've seen it before. We've already seen it like 4 or 5 times. All right, we've come back from this.
It's routine.
It's okay. I would have preferred, and I've even said it in the group text, like, I really want to see like a 1-0, 2-0 win. It's not going to happen, but I kind
we don't know how to play
Where
that way.
we come out calm with no gray hairs.
Or we could just
yeah.
just hold it down, and it could just be a defensive
Yeah.
struggle. Like I kind of long for a game like that, but I know it's not going to happen. So, okay, 2-0, fine. It would have been better like, 1-1, 2-1, 2, like back and forth, even better. But 2-0, I'm a little worried, but I'm also just like, okay, we've done this before. It could be a better situation. But it's both of the goals were just due to sloppy play. And I think at the very least with sloppy play on defense, like you can at least clean that up and you can at least just like, hey, just get it together and we got this. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they just were dominating us. Like it was even. Like if you took away the score, which is a dumb thing to say when you keep scoring, but if you take away the score, it was fairly even, and they got us on some not necessarily fluke plays, but they just out hustled us.
And so those plays,
I'm sure all you have to do is just, again, this is very simple to say, but just say, hey, let's out hustle them for the next 20, 25 minutes.
It goes back to what you were saying, Richie. The game is a game of moments,
right?
Yeah.
And you slack off for 30 seconds,
Right.
you
Te la van a dar.
Yeah.
So there's one thing like in football, el 2-0 es engañoso. Because when you're winning 1-0, you already know like, okay, if I can just hold this for the last 5 minutes of the game, we're good. 10 minutes of the game.
Momentum.
Pero if they score, like, say you're winning 2-0 and they score 1, the other team for sure is going to be like, oh, ya la sabrí, I'm going to get another one.
Yeah.
And that's what, like we've seen happen like several times with Austin FC. They're down 2-0. They make that tie. When they're down like either 1-0 or 3-0, ya se quedaron.
Yeah.
But I was with one of my fellow like photographers, and we were like, "Here we go again."
Yeah, it's another one.
Here we go.
We know the storyline. We know how it goes. We know the emotions and we can almost tell you what's gonna happen before it happens, man.
Yeah.
But so we were down 2-0. We get a corner kick around minute 26. What happens?
We get a corner kick, and who's Fago?
Fago hits the corner.
Fago hits all the corners.
His Cascante, what a dominant man in the box, dude. He's got a big fat head. He knows how to use
That
it.
guy's a man.
Pa dentro.
Love it.
And then
Gallagher.
a little bit of a shuffle. Gallagher gets the rebound, the man outside the box.
One touch.
Beautiful strike with the outside of his foot. Impossible for the goalkeeper to save.
He touches it too.
Really down and low.
That man's a striker, right? Like naturally, like he's a
Gallagher
he was
is a natural striker.
He was a winger.
Okay, so yeah, he has the nose for goal. Like
He has,
The
that's
coach
just,
literally says, anyone want to play left back? He's like,
One of my favorites this year for sure, just because he did what he had to do to get on the field, and he's not the best option. Obviously, I'm pretty sure we would like somebody else to be playing at their left back, right back position, or whatever. But
I wouldn't have anybody else now, though.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No.
So
He's a fan favorite
here's
now.
the one thing with
Yeah.
like players like Gallagher, like they're carrileros,
Fullbacks.
fullbacks.
Yeah.
They're known for you don't have to be big. You just have to be quick, and you have to know how to work your
Jimenez.
space.
Have the work rate to
Yeah,
go up.
you
up
don't
and down, up
you
and
don't
down.
gotta be big. You don't gotta be 6 foot, because 6 foot. If you have a shorter guy that is a winger, he does a breakaway, te gana.
Yeah.
But if you can keep up with chasing the winger down back, and he knows how to do that very well,
This man
that's
has
why
speed.
he
Because
can.
he's a winger
yeah.
himself, right? He
Like,
knows all the moves.
He knows all the moves. And there was actually one or two plays that I remember seeing where the winger from Sporting Kansas City, he tried to outrun him, and he
Wasn't
couldn't.
happening.
He couldn't. He actually had to stop a couple of times and make a pass, because he was like, he remembered like, okay, I'm against this Gallagher guy. He's gonna catch up to me.
What I love about having Gallagher in is you don't just have a defensive man in there. He's
Offensive.
ready for an offensive
ready.
strike.
Yeah. He gives you that double option. He can defend. He can get you with the fitness. Help the offense create plays either through the shot like this off a corner kick or through a nice diagonal balls, which I saw Austin FC do a lot of that in this game. They had
Diagonales.
almost like to the point of abusing the long ball. They had a lot of long balls that maybe we could get into a little bit. Specifically, I can remember a few long balls by Dani Pereira. He tried doing maybe one or more than he should.
Yeah.
Maybe this game was one of those games where he was doing he was
too much.
He was trying to do too much instead of playing the simple ball. Because when Dani Pereira plays simply, it looks more beautifully and it's more efficient.
Yeah.
And he makes the team so much better. But when he's trying to ping these like long crosses, maybe out of 5, 1 will go, but those other 4, you just lose possession.
We had 5 accurate crosses. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we had a good amount of crosses.
Yeah.
25 long balls.
Yeah.
Like we were kicking it.
Yeah. So one thing, like say for example, like between Danny Pereira and Ring, when Ring is not the best at making those, doing those, like, you know what, I can get another extra little move or touch, and then I'll make it happen. But if it's a ball that I'm gonna give to you, he gets intercepted quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that I also noticed in the midfield is between Ring and Pereira, they were both actually switching. If one was defending, the other one will stay up top. But mainly, we see Pereira's playing more defense and Ring a little more up top. But allowing Pereira to make that transition from defense to midfield, and then Ring would just stay. Mm-hmm. But that was something that in the past, Ring will be the one getting the ball and trying to make the transition, and that's where we would lose a lot of the midfield part.
Right.
Now with Gallagher, I believe the corner kick was done on the right side,
yeah.
of Austin FC. Gallagher is good from coming in from behind. The goal that he scored, the first goal like in the stadium, same thing from behind. Reading it, and then boom, pa dentro. So that's just having a notion of when, the spacings. And I think Bocha is the one that always told us, I'm always looking at the players where they stand without the ball. And this guy has this notion of, okay, I'm not going to go all the way in and try to come in from behind this way, but I'm going to instead of, if the area is right here, he's going to try to come from behind and try to get a rebound from there.
You still got to be prepared to defend.
Right.
Yeah.
You were touching earlier on the fact that Ring and Pereira, they kind of sometimes switch positions depending on how the game is flowing. I noticed a little bit of positional switches between Fagundes and Driussi. A lot of times Driussi likes to drop to the left, and Fagundes kind of pulls up to the middle. And that kind of helps Driussi. Man was taking his shots in the first half. None of them were hit. Some of them were hitting the target, but always kind of showing that presence that he's going to lurk and then look for the shot as well. So
that's Driussi.
Yeah, Driussi.
Yeah.
But I will say that they had him pretty controlled in the first half. They defended him pretty well. And then so after our goal with Gallagher, so we're up 2-1.
2-1.
Down 2-1.
Yeah, we're down 2-1. So
we're in it.
We're in it. We
It's
come
like
back.
That gives us life, right?
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, man, of course we're going to score. Like, that's it right there. That's
we're
the beginning.
only down one?
That's
what.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah,
Do you have another one you
got
can
any
give
more?
us, like just in case?
And then we're
Give me
just
more,
like,
please.
say less.
Yeah.
In a
Got
penalty.
you.
Yeah.
There's certain teams that
thank you, Finley.
You got to put them away before they lose. And
Yeah.
in Austin FC, I feel like we're one of those teams that if we're only down by 2 goals, like you can't count us out, dude.
Yeah,
you cannot count us
for
out.
sure you're gonna have Fagu, Digite.
Yeah.
Like, and we'll talk a little more to the bench, but we get that penalty, and that was the penalty was right before halftime.
Right before
At the
halftime.
40th minute.
And that's the time where you go into halftime, you're like, God
Just don't
darn
give
it.
up a goal. Just don't give up a goal.
You're like, God darn it, you're like,
Yeah.
okay,
Come on.
everybody's like, all right, second half, a lot of people are just like, they come back. I don't know what they did or where they drink, but energy comes back.
Yeah.
Second half, like everybody got a second wind out of nowhere.
But around the 39th to 41st minute of every game when I'm there, like that's my bathroom break. Like I like to go right before like people start rushing. Like
Right at the edge, too.
Yeah.
Right at the edge of the box.
I unfortunately, I think what time? At what
It was
moment?
minute 39.
So
Yeah,
I was probably
39 and 50.
I was probably about to say like, okay, I'm about to take a bathroom break. I was telling my mates on either side like, hey, watch my seat, and then boom, foul. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay and watch.
You mean your standing position?
Yeah, I was already like, all right, hey man, watch my back. Like I'll be back, and then
And it was just unnecessary. Trying to foul someone by, dragging them back. You're like, hey, man, thank you.
what was that? Who was the foul on that? That was Ethan Finley.
Ethan Finley, yeah. So
Man, I mean he's
Who had been
Because
playing.
then
Obviously, he's
playing
had a
his
great
best.
season.
Yeah,
right?
I think he's been
for a
playing
guy that
pretty
was
good.
expected to just be a backup.
Yeah.
yeah.
he's solid.
He wasn't having a bad game.
No, he was having he had a good game in my opinion. It's
He
just
wasn't making every run, but
he was caught off. He was caught off position right here,
Right.
kind of getting late, and he probably felt that the Kansas City player was going to shoot. That's why he committed to the slide tackle. But anytime you slide tackle in the box,
Ya valió.
you have to be perfect.
Yeah.
You have to be perfect because if not,
Unless you
gonna
like
be
touch
PK.
the ball first, it goes out, and then even the guy like falls on you, it's always gonna be like you gotta get to the ball first.
Look at his body language immediately.
no,
after.
he knows.
He
He knows he
So-
fucked up.
And
He knows he fucked
I
up.
felt bad for him. I wasn't even mad. Like I saw that and I saw the ref call a penalty. And I'm like, damn it! And I looked at Ethan Finley and he's just
He was a man of the
that guy's-
emotions
yeah,
the
that guy
whole game.
He puts in work, and I will admit that I was very anti Ethan Finley for a while.
I have been.
Fair
as well.
enough, and he stepped up and he's played very well. And I own my mistake, and he's a veteran. It's going to take him a while to adjust. Or it's just not to say it's going to take him a while to adjust, but it is going to take a lot for him to just beat down on his play. And so he's bounced back.
You know
pretty
what
well.
it took? Corroso.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You
coming.
get that. You look over your shoulder and you see somebody else like
You get like
faster
two.
than
Well,
you.
you have that. You also have Wolfito.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, same thing. I think
Good.
it's a good competition in the wingers.
Yeah, it's good competition in the team for sure. That's going to help out. And with incoming Emiliano Rigoni, it's only going to help us more, hopefully. But one thing I want to touch on in the penalty kick, Brad Stuber has been amazing this season when it comes to PKs, almost at a 50 percentile.
He's 4 out of 8
blocking,
before this
right?
one.
Before this, he was 4 out of 8. One thing I'd say is like, all right, maybe you have an edge, right? You have a way to defend penalties. Why would you give out your sauce? And I've seen a lot of his remarks to the media, like kind of his thought process behind how he goes about penalty kicks. Players know that Brad Stuber studies the shit out of how they shoot. Like, so in this case, Johnny Russell usually shoots.
He's a captain. He knows how he's going to shoot.
He usually shoots to his left. Brad Stuber's left. Johnny Russell's right.
Right.
For this one, I believe that he
Se la
knew.
cambió.
He
Yeah.
knew
It was easy.
He knew Stuber's like, all right, he's gonna do he's gonna go the way I usually shoot, so I gotta change it up. That's all it is.
Game.
And that's all it is, man.
So here's the one thing that I want to tell like the fans whenever there's a penalty kick. Don't tell the goalie. Like, I mean, the goalie has to be professional enough not to hear him, not to take anybody's advice.
To the left.
But don't say anything. Just cheer him, like, come on, stupid. Don't say, like, go right. Because you're going to make him think, okay, I'm going to go right.
Second
All right,
half. So yeah, perfect cutoff, right?
Yeah.
Second half was a Danny Hoesen goal.
Yeah. No, the
No,
second half. Yeah, that was a minute
Before-
63.
3-1.
Before we even get there,
Danny Hoesen comes in late.
before we even get there, so you were talking about Driussi. He's taking matters into his own hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he takes a shot at the 46th minute where he takes that long distance shot to the keeper, and it was a save by the keeper.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Yes.
Save by
Yes.
the keeper.
You're talking about.
Driussi was
He's
I gotta
like-
make something happen.
talking
He's like,
about-
I want to go into halftime with like 2-3, not 1-3.
Some momentum, yeah.
Correct.
No, I saw that.
I remember that. Yes.
was, this
That
shot
was
over
money.
here.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah,
Pass from
because
Danny
right before
Pereira.
halftime, like,
Driussi
oh,
comes
yeah.
off the left. Cuts. That's what I'm saying. He cuts to
Right
the
there.
to the right.
Look at that save.
That's a save.
Look
bro.
at that save.
But that's what I was getting at, where he takes Fagu's position. Fagu pushes to the middle because he wants to have that freedom. Because when
That
he's
space.
when he's in the middle, they're on his ass.
So there's two things that happened in our offense. And a lot of the times, Urruti might not be scoring, but he moves in the spaces where he opens up and he pulls defenders. Or a lot of the times, abre espacio con el cuerpo para que le peguen otros. Even when we're pressing, there's times that Urruti pulls a little more to the right, and then Driussi is the one man like pressing up top.
Right.
So you can always tell when there's a good dynamic between the offense, because they know where the other person's going and they don't want to get in their space, or they know what they're going to try to do, so they're going to try to create the space. Urruti is good at pushing those players
Good.
as much as he can. So Fagu or Driussi come from behind. But for me, it's not that Urruti can't score. It's just that he's a creating type of player without the ball.
Right.
Some forwards, they just get stuck and they don't move. They don't press. This guy right here hustles to recuperate, pass, and a lot of the times become like another midfielder.
He's involved.
Very
And,
involved.
and what I like is that he puts a defensive man into a certain frame of thought, so that when Hoesen, when Jite come in, completely different player.
yeah, they're more like true number 9s. Like
Yeah.
like in the box.
They're thinking they got to continue defending in the way that they were defending,
Yeah.
and then
It throws them off.
Yes.
It definitely throws them off.
Pause real quick. Number 9s. What does that mean? Like
So
a striker.
Number 9
Goleador.
is a striker. He's a man that you count on to score goals.
Right.
Usually, traditionally, these men, these types of players have been players that are in the box that you feed. You feed him a ball, put the ball in a position where he can take a shot with his foot, with his head. One job, score. Urruti's different. He's not like a number 9. He gives you a lot of
Defense.
intangible things that aren't traditional
Well,
to the number 9.
so like a number 9 modern is more of like that. Like he does, right? Like you.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah.
You're like the
Yeah.
hold up play is something I hear a lot about. Like somebody who's almost like a point guard, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sets everybody else up, passes it
Yeah,
off.
with his back to the
Back to the
goal,
goal, yeah.
right, setting things up.
well, hold up is more like a center, right? Like boxing out,
Right.
like Jite, right in the box.
Okay.
Yeah, players like Jite, players like Hoesen can use a little bit more of their physicality to receive the ball, hold it off,
Right.
lay it off, and then make a
make a
run
And then make a run.
Right.
to
Like
just
that
where
little
they're
tunnel.
just gonna between
the
them
pick
and
and
the
roll.
goal, a pick and roll.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There you go. So, yeah, I like what you said. I never thought of about that with Urruti working the shit out of these defenders, like really
Right.
pushing them to their limit.
That guy's
And
a
then-
motor, man.
He's a motor.
Yeah.
And then having a sub like Hoesen, who came in around minute 60. What minute was that? Like 58, 60?
It was like 50.
Hoesen comes in at 58th minute.
Yeah.
After back-to-back saves by Stuver.
Right. We
Back
got
to back.
We're getting
a tale of two halves. Stuver first half questionable goals.
Clean sheet second half.
Yeah,
Clean
clean
sheet
sheet second half.
We can put a half of
So-
clean sheet together. We just.
But
Oh, hold up.
Tally
Hey,
it up, tally him
what
up.
did I text y'all during halftime? And I texted everybody I knew. I was like, hey, guys, simple. All we need to do is score 3 goals, and we win the game.
Yeah.
Fácil.
Well, we're coming
Fácil.
like the Liverpool of
Smart
like in the early 2010s, where you have to score more than the other team to win.
Might as well. I mean,
Like that's what they're.
That's Austin FC right
Someone
there.
told me, yeah, like as long as you score more, you're good.
that's honestly all we need to do.
Right.
Who knows what happens? I mean, we still got we love our goalie, of course, and we love him for a reason. And he came through and
Yeah.
scored 3 goals. I mean, shit.
I turned to my
Ah,
buddy
he
and
should be the coach.
I said, we got time for 5 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like
5
5 minutes
goals.
get left. You know what we can do with 5 minutes?
Yeah. Come on. Like 3-1 is the same thing as 2-0. So I was like, it's the same thing. Like 2-goal deficit. This is not impossible. We haven't seen a 4-3 game, but we've seen the 3-2s and we've seen the 2-2s and we've seen this happen. So we're not out of it yet. I still remember just thinking like, okay, look, let's bring the energy as a fan base, and we always will. And hopefully like things bounce our way.
So the first subs happen,
Yeah,
right?
first subs.
58th minute. Rosso comes in and Hoesen comes in. Hoesen?
Hoesen.
Comes
Hoesen.
in.
Yeah.
And this is the moment that the gaffer, if I'm using that correctly, right?
the gaffer.
Gaffer.
Yeah.
He surprised me for the first time ever this year, where he takes Carrosso's coming in and you think you're not taking out Fagu. There's no way.
Yeah.
Are you taking out Finley? He had a PK, whatever, but he's playing a good game. Who did he take out? Pereira. And I'm like, okay, all right. We're keeping it
Danny P.
offensive. Hoesen comes in for the Ruti, and we get the vibes going, right?
Yeah, directly after that, there's a Finley cross that goes in. There's a header. Driussi goes up for the header. Susi checks Driussi right in the cheek, bro. Like, and knocks him to the ground. Driussi's like claiming a foul, and we all saw it. It was a clear contact of the arm to the face, but you were saying it kind of reminded us of a previous incident.
So that moment when Driussi got hit, it reminded me of the Messi moment in 2017 in the Clásico.
Yeah.
When he sees blood, he wakes up, but he gets up like mad, like I'm gonna get him back, but not fighting, but
Through
scoring
the game.
through the
And
game.
very interesting because at that time Barcelona was down, changed the game. At this time we were down.
Right.
The game kind of shifts when it becomes kind of physical, very intense. Because directly after that, there's another incident where
A Agada.
Kansas City player goes up. No one around him.
Solo.
Falls to the ground, is hurt,
Right.
and the play goes on because under no point is Austin FC obligated to take the ball out. At no point is the ref obligated to stop the game because it's not concussion related, it's not player contact related. It's a single player that fell and is hurt.
And he's not even in the way.
He's not in the way.
Fans are booing this man.
And to be fair to him, ultimately, like, he is genuinely hurt. But
From his own accord? Don't jump so high if you can't
well,
land.
yeah, again, it's a little bit of a shock.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say like culture shock, but it is it still throws me off. And this game definitely threw me off because this guy was hurt later in the game for like a good 5-6 minutes, and they brought out the stretcher. But I just feel
Does
like
he use the stretcher though?
But the more severe,
That's a different thing. That's
here's
a
the
different
thing.
thing.
Here's the point I'm trying to make is like the more severe it becomes, the more people are like, nah, fuck this guy. Like, get the fuck. And it's funny. It's funny and whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not making any cultural critiques. I'm just observing.
It's an observation.
It's an observation, and it's part of what still makes this game beautiful.
Once like say if there's a player that had a pretty bad injury, usually people like
would know,
and but as you see like in soccer it's all about kind of faking it a little bit too. We had our own the moment in the past,
we had
so
a moment.
so we I mean it is part of the game.
It's part of the game.
Yeah,
It's part of it.
It's funny
What
sometimes.
was undeniable is that he went up by himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
He fell on his own ass.
Right.
And he's literally rolling around grabbing his ass. Right?
Yeah.
And so Driussi takes a shot.
Driussi takes a shot to send it into the stands. Like it looked like an obvious clear. Like he's like, I'm just gonna shoot this.
I don't know, man. I think
I'm way
if
out
a
here.
goal comes in,
Yeah, it was one of those things. Like I'm gonna shoot. It might go in. It might go out. But like I'm giving you the ball
does him
back.
a favor.
Yeah, and Kansas City took a big offense to that. Siloa, or however you say his name, Siloy. He runs up, talking shit to Driussi, wanting to get in his face, and of course here comes our big Norwegian bouncer,
our
Viking, grabs this grown man and puts him in bed. He puts him on the lawn
into the grave.
Do y'all feel like that moment whenever that guy tried to get in their face and then Gallagher came, that redefined where the game was gonna go?
100%.
The game changed 100%.
It was the inflection point. I think we could all recognize that. After that, the intensity flipped, the momentum shifted, the stadium, I imagine, got crazier.
Right.
Tell me what it felt like after that.
Well,
moment.
like I remember seeing it, and again, it wasn't like he picked him up and body slammed him.
No.
He just bodied him. He said like
He was tired of him.
I weigh more than you.
It was a
I
grown
do
man
more
move.
push-ups." Yeah, he's a grown man. Just hey, sit down, relax, count to 10. You're obviously like in a bad place. Like deal with it. And then everybody else, when you see everybody, his teammates coming to him, they're not pulling their sleeves back ready to fight. They're just like, hey, bro, it's not that serious. And you're like,
calmados.
Everybody's there like just trying to
I think there's only one player that was still like going at it with ring, but everybody else was just trying to separate.
Like, hey, chill. And it was just, I just remember feeling like, yes, we've taken over the game, at least from an emotional standpoint.
Right.
And let's go. Let's keep it.
The man himself stopped all that nonsense as soon as his butt hit the ground. Yeah. He's like, okay, I said my piece.
Well, he kind of got up and he was close to going back and say something, but then they stopped him and then he saw the size of Garrison. He's like, nah, never mind.
But I want to bring it back to the pregame show. Right, they interviewed Claudio Reina. In Claudio we trust.
In Claudio we trust.
In Claudio we trust. He brought Driussi on. Let's go. Yeah. Right. He talked about last year, and he talked about the difference between last year and this year. And the one thing that I took away from that interview is he said we needed men this year.
Yeah.
He said we needed men this year. We needed men the likes of Ruben, Maxi, Ethan Findlay, Martins, I mean, the biggest shithouser we got on the team.
I love that. I love
Felipe.
that. Yeah.
And this game showed Ruben. I mean, if you've heard Ruben talk in any of his interviews,
he's bold. There's times that we kind of question, like, yeah, but he's not really coming through. Yeah, dude, but
where's the mentality at?
The mentality at? Like, where's that? You need that, for us to compete. Like, in a level that we're competing or we're trying to get.
And we also have to, again, goes back to like what I said earlier. Like this is a band of misfits, and we need our main misfit.
He picks up a yellow, but is a well-deserved yellow, and I think it had a positive effect on the team where it kind of put him in that mindset that we're gonna fight.
When you bring the whole stadium to its feet, chanting for you,
Yes,
supporting you.
That was something that, like, say you feed off people, and it wasn't a good like way to feed them off. Like you want people to continue to chant, but like I say, people will chant regardless. But whenever you do that, you're kind of doing it for the game. We're also doing it so you can keep the people up there.
There's a difference between La Murga chanting and continuing the vibe, right? Versus your casual fan sitting up here in the corner, who has gotten up 3 times in the game, who's standing up right now going, I believe we can win this game.
Yeah. Whenever you have the other side, like the north part of the stadium standing up, that's when you're like, it's about to happen.
Yes.
And the players at the end of the game, they recognize that this was a very different game in the Q2. Like
100.
they 100% recognize what happened there is special. But at that point,
So what happened? So he gets bodied. We move on.
You have
the handball.
You have Driussi
Pre-bodied and post-bodied,
with the napkin in there.
Right. Driussi's running around. Yeah. I thought it was a mouth guard.
No, it was just a Kleenex.
It's like a little ball of Kleenex right here.
His hair's all ruffled. He didn't get his hair done that
dude,
day.
He looked like he was like ready, dude. His eyes looked like, let's do this.
He's done.
We get a throw in at the 74th minute.
Nick
Lima's about to get subbed off, but of course they got to leave him in for the house specialty, the long ball, ball from Nick Lima.
The specialty,
the man with the big shoulders.
The throw from Lima
arms.
to Cascante.
Yeah, dude. So he throws that long ball right to Cascante's big fat head, dude, and he gets that little flick,
Does it remind you of someone whenever he plays soccer?
Oh man, I don't really want to get into that, but
if you had frosted tips, it'd be just mirror image.
The ball comes right off of his frosted tips into the hand of a Kansas City player. It was deemed not a penalty. It was deemed justifiable arm position. So we kind of got into it a little earlier. Like it's kind of become ambiguous. What's a handball? What's not a handball? But we all felt that this was a handball.
It's a philosophical argument.
So the thing is, like, let's say
what is handball?
The rules change, and like the last time I heard about the the update in FIFA was just, if the ball hits you in the hand, whether it's intentional or not, it's a penalty.
And what about if your arms are tight to your body or extended?
So if it's extended, for sure that's a penalty. And if
his arm was extended.
Yeah. So he pretty much, instead of like actually doing this backwards, he flicks it and then goes backwards.
Yeah.
But that happened. The flick happened after the ball hit his hand after he moved.
Right.
Before he moved his arm
away.
back. Yeah. So that could have been a penalty. Everybody's by then all the players are about to eat the ref. The fans were about to start throwing whatever they find at him.
Everybody thought handball for sure.
Yeah,
I for sure thought it. I mean,
the way the announcers were talking about it, they were ready to go on a coffee break.
Yeah,
I've seen that clip, and it's hard to see like the inches or what's going on like in a game wherever you're sitting in a stadium, like, but that just felt like a handball when you watched, and I don't know how to describe that, but like you saw, I remember seeing that, and I'm just like, ooh, that feels like that looks like a handball. The way the ball moved, that's also some way you probably have to judge shit. But like, yeah, I'm really surprised that
the whole stadium is like,
like come on, man, like.
And they went to the VAR, but still, it was. I mean, there was like a little, decision making right there and there, but it didn't actually go VAR.
So then ultimately, like somebody just looked at that and decided,
it's not
again. According to their philosophy on what the game is about, that his hand was not.
No, apparently the VAR is centered in Atlanta. That's where they go and review this film. But like
they moved away this year from reviewing it locally to having a team in Atlanta.
Which for me, that's the worst mistake.
Well, that's what the NFL. That's what America. I mean, that's what they do. They have like a headquarters.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that.
No, hombre, vato, just pay a couple of, árbitros de acá de la Dolores.
I mean, Premier League has
they'll be down.
The ref there, right? Like the ref is on site.
I mean, like other leagues have that, ref on site.
Regardless, right? Like that person's not accountable there.
Yeah.
So you as players, I remember the players. They told them no handball.
Yeah.
There's nothing they could do. You turn around, you get back into position.
Just
And
keep
that's
playing.
what we're talking about. Cascante was pissed.
Yeah, he was pretty pissed.
And he said, Nick, give it to me again. Give it to me again.
Yeah, and we were talking about it, man. Cascante really embodies like a lot of the heart of this team. Just his attitude about things, you know, the way he goes about calls and the physicality, and maybe being a little bit more bold than what his capabilities are. But he's going to have moments where he shines and he scores goals, and you can see it in this game and in games in the past. We were talking about it earlier, how many goals he scored, how many contributions he's done. But Lima comes out, Kolmanic comes in. Another sub that for some people are like, Kolmanic hasn't been the greatest this season.
Right.
But one thing he'll give you is that magical left foot.
Right.
So I see him coming in,
That magical left foot.
and I told my buddy, there's no way you're taking out Gallagher in this game.
Oh, heck no.
There's no way you're
So
taking out
Gallagher
Gallagher
goes
in
to the
this game.
right. Gallagher's like, hey, who wants to play right back? I got you.
What a utility, man, dude.
Gallagher would just do whatever he's
He's
gotta
like
do
a
to be on
Swiss
the
Army
field,
knife,
man.
dude.
And so
Irish
Lima,
Army knife.
So Lima comes out.
There you go.
Hey, that was good.
Yeah.
And then Lima had some good defensive moments,
Yeah.
but he also had some bad defensive moments.
Right.
And he wasn't doing anything on the offensive side. That's
Right.
guaranteed.
Right. So
And so Gallagher stays on. I'm like, gracias. And so Komich comes in, and I told my buddy, I was like, send all the left foots you can send
Yeah.
into the box. Because if you have one specialty,
It's your left
your
foot.
specialty,
Your
that
left
left
foot, yeah.
foot. And we'll eventually get there. But that's what happens near the end of the game. But Komanic comes in, man, and he starts to have his imprint on the game.
He started being like the Kolmanic of last year.
Exactly.
You know, impacting every chance he gets. But a lot of the, like, say, crosses were just there were kind of like little scuffles here and there.
Right.
Because it wasn't just a cross would happen and the game stops. It was like a cross would happen, bounce,
Scuffle.
and then it gets again, then it gets out. The goal, you know,
Ping
where
pong.
Cascante scores, I believe in the 63rd minute. That's when I usually go up there with a Murga, and you know now it's a reality. Every time I go up there and take pictures of the band members, they score. But that moment right there, it just changed everything. Like, oh, we're getting it for sure. Like we are in it now that we scored. We already had that fight from the players earlier. Now that we score for sure, we're this close.
Yeah.
You started seeing Cascante, like maybe he hasn't had, probably the best season sometimes, but just that fight in there, just that fierce wanting to get into it. That's great. And I think Koke has mentioned in the past that there's times that Cascante does a little too much to the ball sometimes, but he gets that one play that, make it seem like a world-class player.
yeah.
When he's bringing the ball out sometimes, you're like, oh, you kind of hold your breath a little
Yeah,
bit.
because his touches are heavy. He's a big guy, but
there's no one else you'd rather have in the box.
right.
There's no one
Yeah,
else.
in the box, he's extremely dangerous, and he has that confidence and that ability to get up there and get his head on it and put it on target or do the flick that causes a potential penalty or whatever. But yeah, dude, we mentioned. I think when the game becomes 2-3, Austin down 2-3, Kansas City begins to look at the clock and understand, like, all right, this game is kind of slipping away from us, so we're just gonna like bunker down and just focus on slowing the game down, doing everything we can to delay it, to waste time, and just hold this result. So what do? They take off. To me, they're one of their best players, Johnny Russell. They put in this 19-year-old Pierre, and they're looking just to add defenders into the center midfield to kind of ice this game.
To park the bus.
Park the bus.
Like that's
a
like
good
a thing,
term
right?
for
You're
you,
like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I like teams that do it, like when you have to just pull out a win and just
Vámonos.
you park the bus. You just everybody defend. The only goal is just to not give up a goal. And I remember seeing them doing that, and that's when.
But when you do that, you invite the team
The counterattack.
And
to
that's
just
where
like
Austin FC lives.
and yeah.
You're saying we can play on your half the whole rest of the
Well,
game?
and again, we
5
do
minutes there.
we do the all gas no brakes thing. Like you're inviting us to just turn it up and put it play in your half and just continue to push. And even in around this time, the fans. I mean, I remember being in the stadium and just, Austin FC's passing it around, trying to find like the best route inside the goal, and people in the stands are getting impatient. Like, come on, shoot it, push it. And I appreciate the fact that they don't necessarily do that immediately. Like, they kind of find, the spaces to do that and find the best way to just kind of like finally just get it in there. And they're patient, and you got to give them credit for that. And yeah, I mean, that's how.
What I love is that in this moment of the game, we're down 3-2 still.
Mm-hmm.
Never in my experience of being at Q2 have I been there and had the entire stadium rallying when we're down like that.
Yeah.
At such end of the moments of the game, you know what I mean? We're Coleman just come in at the 77th minute. There's only, 10 to 12 minutes of regular time to play.
Right.
You could easily, anywhere else. I mean, I was at the Atlanta game. It was my first game away. It was an amazing game. And there's fans walking out of the stadium. I mean, at like the 70th minute, 65th minute.
That Atlanta traffic.
Yeah, that traffic.
Over here, we get that breaker traffic.
We got that casual fan standing up, pouring his heart out into the game. And I believe every single player, especially Coach Wolf, felt that in that moment, And so at this point in time, we got the 85th minute. Felipe comes in.
Felipe comes in for
Romagna
Fago.
comes in.
Romagna comes in for Gabrielson.
And so I see Felipe coming in. I was like, I know you're not taking out Driussi. Because that's, his typical
that guy's not
person that
coming
comes off. No. And I was like, Wolf, how could you make this mistake twice in a row?
Yeah. I was scared when I saw the subs. I was... man, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Felipe coming in, I was like, "Oh my gosh,
you get either a red card or something's gonna happen."
He tricked me.
Before, when I saw a sub, I thought it was a stupid sub. I was pretty pissed that Felipe was coming in, and luckily he proved me wrong in his first touch.
He had a Felipe. So that's the one thing. Felipe seems like the one player that like. He gets a good first touch, and he's going to have the best game of his life. He gets one bad first touch, ya valió madre.
The Atlanta game, he was a monster.
Atlanta was his game. Atlanta was his game, and this is his next.
Yes, exactly.
I felt like it was.
So he comes in, Romagna comes in for Gabrielson, and I was surprised. I was like, is the heat getting to Gabrielson? Is he gassed? Is Fagu gassed? They were sensors.
He had the yellow card in the scuffle.
In the scuffle. That's what he probably, I'm just going to...
Trying to protect him?
Yeah.
And trying to add gas. And honestly, Romagna surprised me this game, the way he came in. He added some solidity in the back. Anytime Kansas City started to do anything aerial, Romagna he's a big boy.
He made a tiny mistake where he gave away the ball.
Yeah.
But after that, he cleaned up the game. Very solid.
He was putting in some good slide tackles. He was doing some good headers.
He was allowing Cascante to go up,
right?
Which is good because then you have your wingers also pushing up. You have Gallagher and you have Komanich also, trying to stay in there. And there's a time that he'll be like the last man, and they're like, that's a risky one, pero he held it down.
Felipe's in for maybe 30 seconds. He gets that first touch. Beautiful lob back into the box. Right down the middle, right over Danny Hoesen's head. Danny Hoesen, first touch. Volley, hits the post, goes in.
Right. And those are type of,
crazy
when like soccer's about moments, that's or millimetric plays, that's a super millimetric.
That could have easily gone
because you went in between.
Right.
Yeah, he went in between the defenders.
You're talking about two first touches. You're talking about the touch from Felipe has to be perfect.
Right.
The reception, the touch from Hoesen has to be perfect.
Right.
Dude. Like the chances of a play like that happening sequentially, like two first touches, the way it happened, the way the finish was, to me, that was a special goal.
I think that speaks to just how hungry the whole team is as a whole. Like these guys have been sitting on the bench the whole time, and then they finally get to be on the field, and they finally get to do something.
Yes.
So it's like, all right, time's running out. Here's my opportunity. Let me take advantage of it. And I think that's from the first man to the 23rd man or whatever, how many people we have on our team. Like everybody knows their role, And when they get a chance to get on the field, like, it's time for them to step up. And we seem to just thrive off of that. Like, even our subs. So I know you guys are, you question the subs, this and this. I never question when a sub comes in, because I just think, like, in my brain, I'm thinking, all right, if they're taking them off, like, they're just trying to make something happen.
If it's Los Redes, I will always
yeah, fair enough, right. But anybody else, I just feel like, hey, you know what? It's not necessarily the person who's getting subbed off who's not doing a good job. It's more like, hey, we need a spark. We need something to happen. Doesn't take anything away from Urruti or anybody who got taken off the field. But the people we're putting on, like, they've been itching. They've been warming up all this time. It's time to step up. We have to win. We have to get the points. And yeah, that's what happens, right? When you get two guys on the field, and they're like, all right, it's time. I get the ball. Boom, one touch. Boom, one touch. That was amazing to see, like, from the goal end, like, boom, boom.
Golazo.
Yeah, I think
Yes, yeah. That's not a goal.
Golazo.
It's a golazo.
It's a golazo.
Yeah, I think with that,
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
a lot of times people question the whenever the substitutions happen, when we're winning, and we need to hold the ball, or just keep possession of it. We probably question it whenever we know that the other team is gonna want to attack and score.
San Jose is a clear example.
San Jose is a clear example that where we're like, you should have just stayed, like, another 10 minutes, just going. You having Driussi having Driussi and Fagu in the game, in the pitch. It makes a difference. It makes a difference because they already know, like, if we try to do something crazy, they're gonna try to get us back.
Right.
And here, luckily, everything happened where it was like the last 5 minutes of the game, and they took advantage of that situation. But I can see what you're saying. A lot of the times we question the players and we question the coach. But this one, we learned.
Yeah, I mean,
no one in the stadium questioned the
fair.
second that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah. Again,
In this game.
It's nothing against anybody coming off the field. Like,
Right.
hey, you did your job. Like, you did it in. You clocked in. You clocked out. You earned your paycheck. Whatever. You're good. Let's give this guy a shot and see what he can try and do. And that's kind of the vibe I felt when he made those subs. Like,
Perfect subs.
Yeah.
Perfect subs. You saw the clips of Ruti and Danny Pereira coming out and getting on the bench, and you can tell from their faces that they knew, like, they put in their shift, but maybe it wasn't the best one, and they were allowing the team to try something different.
But at the same time, they didn't have that face like, I want to be out there for my own sake.
Right.
They were like,
It's a very collective.
yeah.
It's a
Yes.
collective.
Just
mission.
when they see each other, you can always, the players in the team, whenever they see each other, just that moment, they already know what they're going to do.
And you can tell by the way what happens later on, the way they celebrated with each other, like, that this meant a lot for them. So, moving on, man. All right, so at that point, the game is 3-3. Agada goes up, and I think he bumps into one of our players. I forget who it is.
so he goes up
With
over Felipe.
Felipe. Oh, of course, yeah, Felipe.
If I have to be honest with myself, Felipe knew he was flying above him.
Yeah, so
and it was gonna be like,
He did.
you wanna fall?
He did what in Spanish is called a banquito, where someone's,
So,
someone's ahead of you, so you just dip your body a little bit, just so that they can basically trip over you and
he
have
sold it
a
well.
nasty fall.
He sold it well.
So a guy that has a pretty bad fall on his hip or his back.
Yeah.
He's rolling around. He's super hurt.
his second fall of the game.
Obviously, you look at the minute of the game. It's 86.
Yeah.
He's trying to.
Yeah.
She's trying to kill
Kansas
it,
City
like,
is perfectly happy with going home with 1 point.
right.
They're winning at this point still.
Yeah, because they're like, man, another loss, we don't need it. We don't. We're okay with a tie.
Right. So
mean-
he ends up killing a good 3.5 minutes. It goes to minute 90 that he kills
The
on
whole
the ground.
stadium.
They're just.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, everybody's
those-
booing this guy, and I'm
yeah.
like, hey man, I don't know, he's probably paralyzed. Like,
No,
he's really
That hurt. But
I get it. Yeah.
did
Again,
Felipe hurt him?
Yeah.
Nah.
Felipe goes out to him and tells him to get the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
Felipe,
And even the
Felipe's
players-
like, you good?
Even the players at the same time, like other sports, would be like, "Hey, bro, like, damn, like, we got you. Hey, good luck." Like, it's all love. And then in soccer, it's just like, hey, bro, get the fuck up. Like, fuck you. Like, fuck that.
This is
like,
about the time Cascante starts to carry him off the field.
Remember that? Yeah, when he's just like telling me, and then he rolls on.
Just
Like
dragging
again,
him from the ankle.
it's that level of shithousery again that makes it like beautiful to watch and fun. Like I get it, like it's awesome, but at the same time, it's just wild because I'm just like thinking. Like, damn, I hope this guy's okay, but I'm also hoping that the referee is counting all the time.
And they do. They end up adding
10 minutes. Yeah.
10 minutes of stoppage
Whenever
time.
you see the 10 minutes, they're like, everybody's like, okay, cool.
Dude,
I turned to everyone in my area and I said, I hope they put 10 minutes. I hope they put 10
do y'all
minutes
do?
on.
Because I'm the one in my group. I put on my stopwatch and I'm like,
forgot.
I remember you saying
I'm always
that.
doing this. And I turn it on, and I'm just like, all right, here we go.
I've
Like,
never
let's go.
done that. I'm just a gut guy. Like
All the time.
This game felt like 10 minutes to me.
Can we talk about this though?
Yeah.
Why does Q2 never continue the clock?
I don't know.
Oh,
is that
I
like a
don't
thing?
think anybody's stadium does it. Like,
It's a rule thing.
yeah.
They under the rules at minute 90 they have to stop. They I don't know why. I don't know how.
Well,
Can't you have a
because-
side clock? Something?
Yeah, but it's
every game I've ever been to has never
they
had a
don't
clock.
because
on
they
it.
don't want teams to kill. Like, say if they have 3 minutes
So it's for the
left.
players.
For
Okay,
the players.
okay,
I mean, a lot of
Like,
it
you
could
just
just
gotta
be
keep-
also for the broadcasting timing. It could be
yeah.
like a bunch of other shit that it's probably under there.
I
like
get that.
clause number 5.
It's also
We're always
stressful.
panicking in the
But
stands.
it is-
and I'm like, does somebody
but
start the
it's the
time?
beauty
gotta
of
do
the
it.
game.
That's why you gotta
It's
do it.
the
Yeah,
beauty of the game. Like
The mystery.
The mystery, because you're like, we have this much time left, and now you're like, what the heck?
Because
4 minutes?
Even at the end of stoppage time, sometimes they add an extra
Right,
time
yeah.
because they
because
wasted
yeah.
time
So
during
if somebody wastes
stoppage
time in a stoppage time,
Yeah.
then are you
But
gonna
when you
you gonna
got
add
10
it?
minutes, 10 minutes could feel like 5 or it could feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
20.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like when you're winning,
feel
you
a
can
lifetime.
feel like 20. When you're losing,
yeah.
it feels like 1.
This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
And we just keep going at it. We keep going at it. This is where we talk about spacing
exactly.
and where runs go. Whenever Austin FC scored, it was, we recover the ball like in midfield. We play it in the front, but in that moment, Driussi is not running anymore. He's just following the play. He walked.
Conscious.
He's like, okay, I think I know what's going to happen because you already have 2 guys with Hoesen and nobody's going to get to me. Like if I go in there, if I try to go like in the play, like get in there, they're going to chase me down because they've been doing this whole time.
And at this point, Corroso is pretty much staying in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to pull defenders away.
Right.
And staying as far away from the middle of the field as possible to open up that space. And, I mean, however much we want to say Finley messed up this PK, Finley did that. He sets up Driussi.
He sets him up.
Perfectly.
Yeah, it's not the prettiest touch, but he's in there. Like,
But
he's
it's the
there.
efficient.
And it comes out from a ball from Golmanich.
Yeah.
Off his
It was a cross
The left
from
foot,
one
like,
side to
way
the other.
the fuck
Yeah.
out of there.
Which he had done maybe like 3 or so at that point.
Yeah,
4
he
maybe.
kept on crossing it,
all day.
which is what you need to do.
Crossing.
And Finley was like, I'm hot. I trust myself. He trusts himself.
I don't know what he hit it with. Like, was it his
Le
hip?
pegó con
With
el-
his thigh? I don't know how he brought
Something,
it down.
but he out-muscled
wasn't-
the guy
yeah.
and just got
His,
on the ball.
His right shin?
Like,
something?
like
my
he,
God.
so he kind of did a little hop, and then that's when he can like put it in, and the ball was actually like bouncing, but instead of going like
And who's alone?
Driussi, the one player that he
So-
kept following the play,
Our all-star.
All-Star
Our
MVP,
MLS
MVP.
All-Star
Nuestro Driussi.
Golden Boot.
He
Put some respect on his name, man.
Yeah, man.
17 goals, 7
Beautiful.
assists, 24.
and the way he one touched it to the side, very similar to what Messi did against Real Madrid in 2017.
To go back to the.
To go back to the, when he got cut. Messi gets cut. Man, at this point, I'm like, Argentina needs to really think. If Driussi scores 2 goals in Mexico, I'll be celebrating for Driussi because, dude,
Whoa.
you know what?
Yeah,
that's
bro.
the whole club, bro.
Like for me, seeing this guy like in front, like just seeing there, for the team is kind of
He's
like,
your
dude,
neighbor.
I would enjoy it. Thank you, because you're so underestimated in Argentina. I would love for you to come to America
is.
or Mexico.
I'll tell you what.
That's
Golmanich.
One of my favorite moments, I think, in Austin FC history as a fan was Driussi's first touch ever with Austin FC.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking, like, ooh,
He's
this
got
guy's
something.
something.
Yeah.
Was that a Rabona? What was
No, it was just
It was a simple touch.
It was a simple
Simple.
touch, and he got it in the midfield,
Yeah.
and then just kind of like did something fancy, and then passed it off to somebody. And I just remember thinking like, "Oh, this guy,
He's special.
is special."
Can I tell you about Driussi's connection to the club? So, prior to this game, I felt like Driussi knew who he was.
Yeah.
He knew he's good. He knows he's head and shoulders above the team. He knows that he can go wherever he wants. He also has, his personal perspective. He's got a family. He's got a brand new baby.
Yeah.
He just got married in Texas. His life is different than the life of when he had at River Plate, when he had at Zenith.
Yeah.
It's different. Very
His
different.
decision-making process is family first.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so I always felt a little disconnected from him. You know what I mean? He wasn't there for the fans. He was there for his teammates, and he was there for, to be a growing player that's continuing. He scored that goal, immediately ran off to the corner, took off his jersey, flung it in the air,
No, he did
celebrated with the crowd.
He takes up the jersey. He celebrates like this.
he did the
Picks up the
iconic.
jersey.
No. Finley picks up the jersey.
Oh, because he dropped it, and then he picks
throws
it
it in the air. Finley picks up the jersey from him, hands it to him, and he goes,
Imagine
"Aquí estoy."
if that jersey would have flown to the crowd with the fans.
I would have left the game, bro.
I'm telling you, hey,
No way.
I know exactly when he scored. It was at the 3:56.
Yeah.
Because my timer was going, and when he scored, everybody just started like hugging and like piling on each other, and hit my watch, and it stopped. And so, like after everything settles down and the play starts, I
That's
look at my
when
watch.
Thanos
Okay,
snapped.
how much time is going on? I was looking and it was like, oh shit. The watch isn't moving. It was like 3:56, and then everybody's asking me like, "Ram, what's the score? How much time?" And I was like, "It hasn't moved. Like this is when we scored, but I don't know how much time is left."
It's Driussi's time. Driussi's making his
time.
calls.
Driussi time.
So
Yo,
then after that,
time
I was just
stopped.
like, "Yeah, whatever. Who cares?" Yeah, time literally stopped when he scored the goal.
There was
because-
two SKC fans, like a couple of seats away, like one row up.
Yeah.
I'm high-fiving them, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, stick your hand up.
Yeah,
This was
yeah.
He's always hell yeah. But he like say there's one thing like he did like I've been you can see it from his eyes. He celebrated like he was so he's known for being a player that doesn't like the attention. He'll say hi to a fan. He'll take a picture with anyone, and he's a very cordial dude. But he doesn't like the take the attention. And
Mate
everything.
con voz shows you everything you know.
Right, but he's the type of player that he makes his teammates better. But whenever he celebrated that goal, I've never seen that in his eyes. He was like,
Never.
It's
So-
something else. I mean,
No, he felt it.
yeah, he felt it.
felt it.
And then
The connection happened in that moment.
and I have I have a like luckily I was able to be in that corner where he scored. I took a pictures of him. It was like 5 different celebration moments where he takes his shirt off, he throws it on the ground. Finley picks it up. He gives
Corozo jumps on top of
Corozo
Corozo jumps on top of him.
Hoesen also like gets in and
Hugs
he gives
him.
him a
Big-ass
hug.
hug.
And then
He picks his jersey up.
he picks his jersey.
He does the messy.
The messy thing to the
fucking-
fans, letting them know I'm here.
I thought that moment lasted for like 45 seconds.
Oh,
right?
and then
it was 3 seconds. Like
yeah,
I
it was
watched a
quick.
replay. It was
So
quick.
that happened, and then Martins comes. He bends he bends down,
the
and he's
shoe.
like shining his shoes.
The golden
Oh
band.
yeah,
I'm
there
gonna
was
share a
like
picture.
there was about 3 celebrations.
Yeah,
in
there was
that
like
goal.
3.
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
that the quick 20 seconds became an eternity. Because, like say like when you're doing photography in there, like you capture every moment. Like luckily, I was like, man, I captured this moment.
that's awesome.
Like it was cool. Like I've never seen it. Everybody's going crazy. Even after that win, they're like, it's already done. Like it's over. Even if they try to
That's
attack.
an iconic moment.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be. That's one of those. Again, another moment. You're thinking about the first goal ever scored at U2 or Q2. Excuse me. U2. Terrible band. By the way. Nah, fuck them. But yeah, the first goal ever scored at Q2. Like that's an iconic moment. Maybe the second time that we beat the Timbers, right? Like we owned one of the
4-1 or something.
one of the royalty franchises of the MLS. They cannot hack it at Q2 again.
can't.
Like we're good. And then it's this one. It's
Hey, I
That's
heard
good.
that.
oh, you caught that?
I caught that.
And then and maybe I'm missing a couple other ones. Like we can always revisit and go game by game or whatever. But this is one of those moments. Like
This is for sure
Put
like
that up
top
there.
top
again,
one.
that up there.
Again, 2-0. We've done it before.
Yeah.
Cool. Whatever. 3-1. We haven't done that before. We did it, and it was
good.
It was incredible to see. I don't really care who the other team was. Like, sure, they're bottom of the league, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
10 months ago, we were at the bottom of the league. Like, these are all professional football players, and to come back the way we came back, it was a sight to behold. It was amazing to see. Like, it's one of the best sporting moments I've ever been a part of. Like, and I've watched Vince Young do his thing. I've watched Colt McCoy do his thing. I've seen the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. I've seen all this shit. And, like, to see, again, to go back to my experience of winning a T-shirt that nobody else wanted to sign up for, like, to a moment where, like, you watch your home football team come back from a 3-1 deficit and just win at home in front of the crowd and your MVP. It's amazing. I don't know what the future holds for this team. I don't. Like, who knows, right? It's really hard to be a championship competitor in any league, in any sport. So the fact that our team is doing that right now in the moment, I'm enjoying the moment. So this comeback could have happened against SAFC or anybody, LAFC. I mean, it's just an amazing moment, and it's almost like the team we were playing against is just a backdrop. Like,
it doesn't matter who it was.
It doesn't matter who it was. And so I'm so like, again, I don't know. I don't know what destiny holds for this team, but this is definitely one of those moments that's going to be like carved in the city's memory. Like, whatever happens, let's say we win the MLS Cup, like, this is one of those moments. Let's say we lose and whatever. This is still going to be one of those moments that 2 or 3 years, 5 years from now, we're going to be talking about. Like, damn, you remember the time we came back against Sporting KC? Like,
hey, you know how I know we're going to remember it?
Yeah.
Because that's the moment that we're going to build a statue of Driussi.
Right.
There.
So now we're gonna have, like,
we're
gonna have
that's the one.
How do you call it? A parking lot full of statues with Fagus, first goal with Stuber, not let's say Stubers, but also with Gallagher's like this, and then
this is one of those moments, man. Like,
and
my God!
In
like,
2 years span, I mean, for us it means a lot because we so many memories.
Right.
Like this game reflects Austin FC's history. Austin FC's lifeline. How our blood, like, that's
great way to think about it.
Exactly.
That's how it is.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. And
the first half was all last year.
The first half was last year.
All last
we're shite, bro. Like, we suck. Like,
all last year with a shot of Driussi towards the end of the first half.
In the second half, we still don't know what we're doing.
In the second half, I was like, all right, motherfucker, you better watch out.
And then, hold on to your nuts.
But again, ultimately, like, the belief. Like, again, I was texting it being funny, saying, "Oh, we just need to score 3 goals." But literally, I'm sure that's what they were saying in the dressing room. Like, okay, we just need to outscore them in the second half, and this is it. And what did we do? We did that shit. And that's the kind of, I guess, attitude that the fan base has, and I think that's the attitude that this team has. Is it doesn't matter where we are, we're gonna play the full 90 minutes and then some.
I remember last year thinking, we got scored on 1-0 at the 35th minute, 40th minute. Yeah. Said, I don't know if we can come back from this.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can even tie this game.
Yeah.
At this point, they're up 2-0 at the what was it? The 23rd minute?
And it's just like, hey, we got hell time.
We got 3 more beers to drink.
Yeah. It's like,
look at that. No, but like, say, and it's like it's not even like a cocky thing, but it's a confidence thing. And it's big difference. It's an ability. It's the fact that I can. And it's not luckily we don't go back to getting scored 2 again and they have to come back. But then again, we enjoy it. But regardless, like, the wins that I feel like we beat Cincinnati 5-0, and then we beat Orlando 5-0, and it was crazy. But I mean, it was a win that it was like a good flavor. But this one just had like a different, just the spiciness of it.
Well, you think about those games we won 5-0 to begin the season,
right?
And we had just come off like we were the worst team in the league, so it was almost
blew our minds.
It was almost like a release. Like, yes, this is what we want. We want like fun soccer. We want fun. like we want to see goals. We want to see our team come out and just like dominate the opponent. And there's been a lot of ups and downs this season already, and we still got a lot of season to go. But yeah, as you said, this one game I feel like encapsulates the entire history of the franchise in 90 minutes. Like, it was ugly to start, but you were still like, oh, like, hey, we're still having a good time. Like, again, we were down 2-0, and I was like, oh man, like, let's say we tie, let's say we lose, I don't care, I'm having a good time.
Yeah,
but it's.
You walk out with like, this $80 was worth it.
Yeah, I spent my money. I'm gonna be tired tomorrow, but it's okay.
So earlier today, y'all were talking about, we wish we would see that clean game, that 3-0, that 2-0, that even 1-0.
I don't think this squad is capable of that.
It will feel boring. It will feel like,
I don't think you have the facilities.
We're a bit of a masochist in this place.
I've heard that a lot from people who I know have been watching the game for a long time. Yeah. A lot of Premier League fans, right? And to be honest, I know I'm the new guy. I know I've been around. Prior to Austin FC, my main thing was national teams. Following Mexico. All the different cups. Following USA a little bit, but I was lucky enough to be in Spain for the 2008 Euro Cup when Spain was the greatest team in the world. Yeah. During that run when they won the World Cup in 2010. Yes. I mean, Iniesta,
Busquets.
Xavi.
Fabregas.
El Niño, I mean, bro, they
Raúl.
held it down, David. Right? And to be hearing these same sentiments from these fans that have been around for a while, I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch a game like that.
Yeah,
if I'm at the queue,
I kind of do.
You want some drama? You want some?
Well, but here's the thing. Like, if we're gonna talk about like expectations of this team, like. At the beginning of the season, all I thought in my brain was, okay, we were terrible last year, but hey, it was still fun because we finally got a pro team. Yeah. This is cool. Like, it's a reality. I was very content with just competing for the 7th playoff spot. That's what I went into the season. Like, hey, man, just compete for a playoff spot.
Playoffs.
Give me some hope around this time.
Can we win the Derby?
Right. So the fact that we
are beat Houston finally.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're number 2 in the league, like Supporters Shield, like we're number 2, like we're number 2 in the West, like we're up there with some of the elite teams. Like, I am on cloud 9 right now. I'm just enjoying the moment. I'm having a good time because this is way more than I ever expected, and not just because I think not that I had low expectations of this team. I still expected us to improve upon our performance last year, and we've blown that last team out of the water, and it's largely the same guys. Sure, we added a few pieces here and there to kind of bolster what we had, but this team has really raised the bar in terms of just the performance. And again, all I wanted was a 7th place team, a team to battle for 7th place, and I would have been ecstatic. I don't even care about the result of the playoffs. Like, let's just punch the ticket and be there. Now, like, I'm not adjusting my expectations based on where we're at right now. Like, I'm still just happy. I'm riding the wave. I don't care what happens. I mean, obviously, you want that, but I almost feel like expectations like drag you down a little bit.
Expectations are what end up disappointing you.
Right.
And you don't enjoy the ride as much. It's something that we talked a lot about on the pod. Like, good times are here, enjoy them, because they'll pass. And
you always gotta go the next day thinking like you have to start from zero.
But at the same time, we have to be sincere. We have to be frank. This was Kansas City, bottom of the West.
Right.
Yeah. We should have done better.
Yeah.
At playing at home, something that we struggle with. The way we play is entertaining. It's amazing. Sports is entertainment, so we get the satisfaction of it. But can it win us a championship? I don't think so. Can it take us to the conference final? Maybe, but we can't continue to hope on our squad's ability to come from behind and get the last minute result like we've been doing. That's the only thing I have to say.
Enough, yeah.
So touching on that, what is something that you guys feel that we can keep? What is something that you guys feel like we have learned and what is something you guys feel like we should change from what's going on with the team? And we can start with Ramiro.
Okay, so keep something that we can keep as far as a team chemistry.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like say in general, like what's
Something
something that you can take
we've
away?
been doing well that
Yeah.
we can
Strategy,
continue to do.
personnel.
I like our approach to the attack. I feel like, again, the all gas, no brakes type of feel. Like, again, I like the fact that we can score 3 or 4 goals almost at will. It's not a question. Oh, we need to score 3 to win? Cool. We need to score 4? Cool. 5? We haven't done that this year, but we've done it before. I would like to keep that ability to score goals. I think it leads to good, exciting football on the pitch. Like, it leads to attractive football that can attract better players because, hey, these guys are trying to win and look good on the field. Like, let's do that. I think we should keep that mentality of going balls to the wall or whatever. Now, what's the second one?
What is something we should learn from? And the last one is, what is something we should change?
Something we should learn from. Yeah, we got a lot to learn from. I think the biggest thing that we're learning, that this team is learning from, and like the fans can learn from, is just like resilience. If you look at how the first season went, and it was a big roller coaster, but for the most part, we were very down. I mean, we were one of the worst teams in the league. And you had a lot of fans who maybe have been used to watching Madrid or Barcelona or United, Arsenal, Manchester City, and just expected this high level of football. And you're just like, well, relax a little bit. Like, this is MLS. This is the first time no team had ever tried to start during a pandemic. Like, and we've also like looked at the likes of Seattle Sounders and Atlanta United and thought, well, if they can do it, we can do it. I was like, well, it's different cities, different environments, different organizations. Like, I think one thing that we should keep is or we should learn is the patience. Like, we need to just be patient as a fan base because it's really, really hard to be elite in sport, regardless of what you're doing. Like, it's just hard to compete at the top. It may seem like it's a given just because, you know, some of the teams we might root for just have endless resources and whatever. And people kind of like to forget that when they're like, well, shit, man, when I watch La Liga and I watch Barcelona, like, shit, we just dominate all the players. It's like, okay, well, how much money does they got? Barcelona's a bad example because, I mean,
Let's not get into that.
They can't pay their bills, but
Can't even play our own players right now.
they're almost like, hey, man, you don't want to get paid, right? But anyway, but you know what I mean? Like people will watch that level of football and just be like, well, I see it this week. Why can't we do it? And it's like, well, there's lots of actual, like, real-world reasons why we can't do it. So let's, like, I think that the one thing we can learn as a fan base and is just patience. Enjoy the ride, man. Like, this is something that this city has never experienced before, and this is a league that is still trying to grow and still trying to pull talent. Like, we're doing our best, and the team is doing their best. Everybody from top to bottom, like from the coaching staff, from the players, they're going all out. I mean, come on, look at the body language of some of these players at the end of the games when we win, lose, or draw. Like, they're exhausted. They put their heart out. I mean, it's hot in this city.
Yeah.
Like, patience, man. Let's just enjoy. I think we can do better just to enjoy the experience. But I think, okay, the last question is what? Just something we can get rid of?
What is something?
Yeah, something
we
that you
can
can change.
Something that I would like to change? I'm going to come back to this.
Beer prices.
Electric jellyfish.
I want to see.
Hey, I was
Okay,
in Atlanta. That shit was
as a
cheap.
fan, I want to see some cheaper hot dogs and beers.
There you go.
Okay.
I want to see more water stations.
Hey,
come
you
on.
could put 2 more Yeti stations.
yeah.
Come on, one each
Okay,
corner.
and then also better water pressure. Like bro, like
Super slow.
when you get to the station, you wait all this entire line. The only reason the lines are long is because the water pressure is low.
Yeah.
So it's taking like 45 seconds to get like whatever. But anyway, but then as a team, like, yes, the 4-3s, the 3-2s is fun, but I kind of want to see some defensive soccer. Like, I know it's not attractive to say, oh yeah, 1-0, 2-0, but
That's what will win championships. That's what will
exactly. That's what's gonna
get you to that.
That's what's gonna get you trophies ultimately. Because again, when you look at like bigger sport or not bigger sports, but other sports like football, basketball, baseball, I point to like a team like the Cowboys. The Cowboys are one of these like just exciting teams during the regular season, and when it gets to the playoffs, it's just they're exciting because games are close, but then they always lose the close games in the playoffs. Like, you need to be one of these teams that is just is cutthroat and says, all right, we're winning 1-0. It's time to win 2-0. We're not a team, like, we don't accept going down 2-0 in the 30th minute. Like, that's unacceptable. Sure, it's fun for the fans, and sure, resilience and all that. Like, I love it. But at the same time, like, I kind of want to see a team with an attitude that says, like, we should not be down 2-0 to the worst team in the league.
Right.
We should be up 2-0, if anything, right? Or, so, like, I want to see a team that is just mentally strong. Not say we're not mentally strong, but let's...
From beginning to end,
let's come out and just put the foot on their necks from the opening whistle. And let's score. Let's be the ones to put it on them 3-1. We're up 3-1 at half.
Yeah.
We don't. It's fun to see us come back, but it's also a lot better when you're at the 65th minute and we're up 4-1 and we're just like taking shots and cheersing and just, hey man, here's another win. Like, let's just continue to enjoy it. Like, that's what I would say.
Alexis, what do you got?
So, what I want to continue to see is this development in the strategy, right? Like, we're getting new players in. We can't wait for Rigoni to get here. We can't wait for Corroso to really, because if we're honest, the reason he hasn't played is because Wolf doesn't believe in him yet. Wolf doesn't believe that he can defend where he needs to defend, that he can be in the position that he needs to be at, given the plan that he has laid out, right? And so I liked Fagu in the center with Sebastian Driussi. I liked, seeing Corroso bringing that defender out wide. I can't wait to see what Rigoni brings. Now, Finley has earned his starting spot.
Right.
He has. He's earned his starting spot.
Yes.
Those these numbers that he's put up, 5 goals, 6 assists, coming from a guy that was expected to be a bench, off the bench, they're great. And so Rigoni's going to have to beat him for that spot. And if we've seen anything about Wolf so far, is that he's going to make him earn it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's Seba's boy.
Yeah.
That's Seba's Zenith partner. That's his Argentinian brother. That's the fourth mate con vos that we can't wait to see. And I can't wait for us to continue to improving in these baby steps, in these baby steps manner. One thing that I know is going to change starting from here on out based on this game is the connection that these players have to the squad, to each other, to the belief that, I'm grateful that we're second place. Do I want us to keep fighting for the shield? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't like this talk about
the community shield or the supporter shield?
The supporter shield. I don't like this talk about, let's just be happy where we're at. Yeah. We're 9 points ahead of Dallas, I believe.
Yeah, Dallas.
Nah. There's other things that also come into play. There's other tournaments that we get automatic, bids in by being that second place
the CONCACAF
in the Shield.
Champions League.
So, every little thing that we can continue fighting for. And LAFC, don't get me wrong, they're looking good. They just won 5-0. They didn't win 5-0 at the start of the season like we did against Cincinnati.
Right.
They won 5-0 at the 9 games left, I believe, in the season, right?
They're getting hot at the right time.
Gareth Bale, like I said, I'm not a long-time follower of especially European football, the Premier League. But
Gareth Frank Bale.
Yo, the little bit I've seen of him in the MLS, this guy's a freak.
He's good.
This guy's good.
Fair enough.
I mean, Chicho Arango, he's good.
Yeah.
Vela, he's good. Do I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to handle our business when they come through? No. Do I know it's going to be a good time? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
Can we give him a challenge? Yes. Have we beat him before? We have.
Yes.
So I'm excited, man. That's the next home game.
We're all looking forward to August 26th. We're all looking forward to August 26th.
And then, so with that, we might have a collaboration with one of the biggest podcasts
From
from
LAFC.
LAFC. So
That'd be tough.
I didn't know
they've
this.
actually recorded with like El Escorpión Dorado, with Jaime Camil, with players. So these guys are pretty down to earth, and they're all Chiva fans as well. So that might happen. They're still letting me know they're gonna come in.
Put on
and-
your poker face.
I'm gonna talk shit. I'm gonna bring my America shirt. They're actually pretty cool dudes.
What's their supporter group name?
La 3252. Yeah, if there's one for me, one supporter group that I do like appreciate their work is the LAFCs.
Yeah.
I feel like their community and our community or culture, it's very similar. Last time they came, we were hanging out with them. The guys I spoke to, they were like, if we go, we'll for sure do it on Saturday.
Awesome,
so that's the plan.
Can't wait to see that one.
Props
If
to
they
them.
come. So but it would be a pretty cool thing. That'll be another episode that we're gonna have to talk about pure soccer and stuff.
Yeah.
But just having that that exposure, national exposure, there's a lot of great things that are gonna come from that game.
Yeah.
Right.
Regardless.
Right.
And if we get
Have
the
you seen the
result,
ticket prices for that game?
earlier it was like 85.
Bro.
They're
Oh.
insane. They're insane.
But I mean, Gareth Bale, Carlos Vela, what's that guy? Chiellini?
Cellini.
Like that guy's good.
They didn't even play the last game.
Right,
They
yeah.
won 5-0.
I kind of want I watch two teams,
Yeah.
Austin FC obviously, and I watch LAFC like because they're the top team and like it's fun to watch them. They play really fun football and props to them.
I love LA. I lived out there for 6 years. I don't give a fuck.
We
about
beat
LAFC,
them, and I kind of feel like
But they're good.
They're good.
they're very good.
It's a different squad now.
It's a chance. We're a different squad. They're a different squad. We don't give up. But
Hey,
also,
man,
like, they're
Rigoni,
scary.
Rigoni's
It's scary.
supposed to be coming in by the end of this week, so that means he might be, hopefully like 10 minutes.
Yeah, man. Just give us 10 minutes, bro.
Based on Wolves, you know what? We learned a lot in the past few
Right.
weeks, right? With Corroso not coming in right away and what
I
the
don't think.
expectations.
Yeah, I don't think they'll bring in
Put in
Rigoni as
Rigoni,
quickly as we think, even if he's here on the squad
Right.
practicing.
But if you see some talent in the practice field,
You're gonna have to.
Rigoni is
Yeah.
showing out.
And the thing is, like, say, if you can have Driussi and Rigoni come through in the practice, maybe for the last 10 minutes,
If you
like,
see-
it'll be a good.
some magic happen.
Yeah.
I think we might see Rigoni in the FC.
It's gonna be an interesting 2 weeks. I tell you what, that's gonna help us define what's gonna happen next. We beat LAFC, we get a more, a bigger chance to take in the supporters shield, and like you said, like we can't just say like, oh well, we got second place. Nah, dude, like
Got to keep pushing.
you gotta keep
Hey,
pushing.
man. Shoot for the moon.
And you know
And
why?
if you miss, you land amongst the stars.
Hey,
Míralo.
that
Ramiro.
joke's all around.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's great to see, like
Classic.
the team,
Classic,
like our
man.
team just, again, you adjust expectations and then you just go for it.
But you know what's the most important part?
You know what I
It's
mean?
not whether we get the supporter shield or not. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the fact that we're pushing hard to the end of the season to carry us into that playoffs time frame.
Right. You want to, like, it's almost like that debate. Do you want the first round bye or do you want to be the team that's scrapping to just first get in the playoffs and then play the wild card round and then play the person that's on the bye?
Mm-hmm.
The bye is great, again, if you want rest and if you had that kind of tough season.
Mm-hmm.
But do you want that or do you want that team that's just going to be fighting to just make it? I mean, there's plenty of examples, especially most recently in like a lot of sports, like teams that 4 or 5 weeks before the end of the season are just like hanging by a lifeline to get in the playoffs.
And isn't that the
They get in.
Sounders?
Right.
They
That's
get
the
hot.
Sounders.
They get hot at the right time.
They get hot at the
Yeah.
right time. And so, again, amazing win for us. And I also feel like it came at the right time. And we can only hope that we can build off of that because, again, going into this and when you broke it down like the 5 games before this at home, we were struggling to just get 3 points. Well, we got 3 points. And not only did we just get 3 points, we came back to do it. We have to capitalize on that and build on that and then continue to do it. And if we can just squeak out 3 points or even a draw at the worst case, going toe-to-toe with a team like LAFC who has like freaking World Cup starters.
Yeah.
You know, guys who just like Euro winners.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. Like, if we can at least, at the very worst case, draw, like, that tells us a lot about where we are.
We gotta come in like trying to win that game regardless.
Right.
Like,
Try to
there's
win.
no expectation, but it's like it's our house. Like, you have to respect us here.
We're down 6 points. We win this game.
It's
I mean, let's say we maintain this for the next week, right? Because we got Minnesota. We can't forget about Minnesota.
It's another good team. Yeah.
Right. We're down 6 points. If we can maintain that, that difference, we're only down 3 points. Yeah. Then it's whoever flinches. Mm-hmm. Then it's whoever makes the first mistake after that. Yeah.
So speaking of Minnesota,
who has more pressure, them or us?
Yeah. I think they do.
I feel
because
they
have to, they have the stars, they have the,
they have
more exposure.
The Wales captain, the guy who just won a Euro with Italy.
Yeah. And
Carlos Vela. Like,
well, I mean, you have even though he didn't really play, but he won the Champions League with Real Madrid too.
Yeah, man.
We got Cascante, who was on the second team of the Portland
right.
Timbers.
And then we had
we got Felipe, who's getting paid $85K.
Yeah, we got Romagna that just
our
came back
goalkeeper.
from
80% of his starts have happened in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Of a 12-year career.
So it's a pretty good clash, like the football against the stars.
I mean, I'm excited for the clash. I'm excited to see a good game. But in all honesty, if I were LAFC, I'd be licking my fingers. Just at all these,
especially at Q2.
At all these games at Q2, seeing the type of opponents we had and how many goals we let them score. I mean,
we thrive as an underdog.
They're looking to eat, but also
we look to fight.
But we look to fight. Yeah. So I know it's gonna be a good game, but at the same time, man, like that, you're talking about the best LAFC. They have the best squad in the MLS right now. They're the hottest
by far
in the MLS right now. So
would you say it's the best squad against the best fighter?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can be the best squad, but you also can you fight? Like, I mean, can you go toe to toe? Like, say,
Can you
has
play
any other
street
team come back like we have?
Yeah.
No.
That's one. But like, say we don't know how to play, like how they can stay up and keep that 1-0, 2-0. But can they come back?
Yeah.
Is it to our advantage?
They're gonna be at home. I think it's gonna be loud. It's gonna be intense.
I think if we can the longer we keep it close, that's the underdog's recipe to success.
Right.
The longer you just keep it within
at a punches
level,
distance,
then that's it. So I think this is one of those games. Yeah, as good as we are coming back from 2-0, we cannot do that against a team like LFC.
We cannot let them score 2 goals in the second half because they're gonna.
We have
not
to
let us score. They're gonna bunker down, and then they're gonna try to counterattack.
We have to throw the first punches, and we have to do that. But I think we're capable, just because again we've done it before. We've already beat them in their house, so
we got Lord Redis, man.
So let's see what happens.
Trust.
I don't know, bro. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Hey, man. What's your prediction against Minnesota?
Minnesota.
I'll say 3-1.
We win.
Yeah.
3-1 away. You like it?
Yeah. I think we play better away than we do at home.
We've definitely been playing better away. I say 2-1.
2-1.
I think we beat them 1-0 last time, so it wasn't like a ridiculously high-scoring game. I think at the moment we have been unable to keep the ball out of our own goal, so we've tended to make a mistake, at least once throughout the game. But I think that we're just been scoring masters. I mean, we're 12 goals in 4 games. I mean, we're unstoppable when it comes to putting up some scores. So I think we get 2-1. I think we come away with 3 points and feeling good for going into the LAFC game.
For sure.
What do you think? Okay.
I don't see it that easy. I think it's going to be a tie. It's going to be a high scoring tie, 2-2 or something like that. But I think this game has been this string of games has been physically and emotionally draining for Austin. So I even think they might rotate some players to kind of give a little bit of rest prior to the FC game. So that's why I don't foresee like a win, like an outright win. So it's either I'm gonna say a tie, 2-2.
So La Manchita starts.
Yeah, fuck it. Throw La Manchita in there. Give him
Hoesen.
Give him a go. Give Hoesen a go.
Gite, we haven't seen Gite in a minute.
Yeah.
There you go. Gite, Hoesen.
I like to see him start.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Maybe Lil Wolf will start too. I don't know if Jimenez might be back by then. probably just
Maybe.
in the
Maybe.
bench.
Possibly.
But I do think the I would say we're gonna win 2-1. But my concern is Nick Lima needs a mental break. Physically physically he's great, but I think he had a break where a couple of games he didn't start. He came back and he killed it.
Right.
He's getting to the moment where he just needs
He's in love, bro. He got engaged recently. I mean,
Oh,
man
shit.
is flying high.
Yeah,
you
dude.
know. So-
Look at Alexis knows her whole life.
Hey.
Dude.
he needs a little mental break. A little like, hey man, go sit back and enjoy it. Maybe coming in second half will be a good thing, but it'll be good to. I mean, we got a utility guy that can play right, so why not use him?
We got him.
Like we can play Komanich. Komanich is come in hot. Komanich right. I mean Komanich left.
He's taking a
Gallagher
long break,
right.
So let's play him.
And then put him like, hey, put him in the fire because we need you to be ready for the remainder of the season.
Right.
Luckily we already got Valencia back, in the bench.
That's
so
right. He was in the bench the last game.
that's another good thing. So
little bit more
midfield,
depth in
we have a little
midfield.
more depth. So we're getting the depth that we want. Kip Keller, he's still around, which is good. Romaña's still around. Maybe we can introduce one or the other. I would say give a break to either Cascante
Yes.
or Gabrielson. We have to let one of them rest.
Or maybe Minnesota
Reset.
is like
Hey.
where he's like in a good climate for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Viking, bro.
He's a
Like,
Viking.
There's no other state in the country
Yeah.
are there more Scandinavians than in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So he
man.
for sure.
So he's gonna be in his hometown.
Welcome home, bro.
Yeah.
His home state over there. So
Time to shine.
they're gonna welcome him.
Yeah.
So that's gonna put us in another win. Like I just want another win, 2-1. But actually, this one where we control the game, where we call the shots,
So
Right on.
you're calling a win?
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
All y'all called a win. I called a draw.
Yeah.
Draw.
I'm a lame-o.
That's fine.
Last time we used to say 5-0, fuck it.
Yeah.
And
Nah,
then
yeah, that was against San Jose, and I was like, man, never
about
again.
Like, cálmate, güey, 1-0, yeah.
Nah, man,
I
it's
was
all
all
good.
excited.
No, I think that's a fair prediction. Yeah, you're good.
2-1, 2-2.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, this has been a great way to kick off our fan analysis section. So happy that Ramiro, Alexis, y'all joined us on the pod. This has been a long time coming, and the door is open to Otra Por Favor for anybody who wants to come in here and give their take, has a thing or two to say, feels like this is a good space for you. Reach out to us. We'll make sure to make some space, carve out some time to bring you on and deep dive into the previous games and see what's going on with Austin FC.
Right. So this is going to be a monthly thing that we're going to do. Our goal is for, the fans to get more interaction, come in here and express, how they feel about the game. Also, the way you can get involved is either in our website. We're going to have a page where you can come in and just send us, you're going to put your email and then what's your available dates that you can, do it. And then we can coordinate the times. Time is also crucial. And your email will also, help us give, you're also going to give us your first name, last name, just our information. So that way we can start coordinating and planning ahead. Our goal is to actually do something similar for the MLS, the remaining of the season, and also for the World Cup. Maybe
Keep it going.
bring a couple
People
of guests
different
from different nationalities.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have, let's say, for example, Group A analysis, which a guy from Group B analysis, Group C analysis.
A representative from each national team.
Yeah, so that'll be something that I'm thinking of right now. But everything will be, all the information we can put in within our website, or we can also just send us a DM or send us
Slide
an
into
email,
the DMs.
And let us know.
It goes down in the DMs.
It goes on
Ramiro
the
knows.
DMs.
If not, ask AOC.
AOC. I heard. She told me, like, chavato.
But,
comment.
before we end the pod, I know I talked about when we got on here, my connection to Jorge and, his family. Ram is a big-time family. Is my groomsman for my wedding. I've known him since forever. And ever since I met Richie, I met him through Jorge. And he's just been an inspiration, man. So I thank you for everything that you do. I've been a long-time watcher of the pod. I'm pretty sure I've seen every single episode. And one thing I got to say is, you're a doer, man. 100%. And let everybody out there know that this pod wasn't smooth. We've had our technical difficulties.
That one cable.
But what I love about Richie is, he is going to make it happen no matter what. And that's how he got this pod going. That's how he got his photography going. That's how I'm sure he's done good in his life and a lot of aspects in his life. And thank you for bringing me on, you know.
Appreciate it.
I look up to you, man, in a lot of ways. And, you know, I hope to maintain this relationship and keep it going.
For sure, man.
Yeah. I'm going to pile on, too. Big shout out to Jorge. Again, going back to the whole reason I'm probably here is because the short time we did share a roof, this guy's passion for the game of football was just contagious, obviously, right? Because here I am with almost kind of wanting to emulate the passion I see around him and around these people and around all this. So, like, shout out to you. You know, I'm sorry for Manchester United and what you're going through right now. I understand it's difficult.
These are the dark days.
These are the dark days, but I will say as an Arsenal fan, like, we were doing this a year ago today, so there's brighter days ahead. You just got to stick through
Appreciate it, man.
You know, you're going to be okay. And if you need somebody to cry on, don't come to me because I'm just going to make fun
You're
of
just
you.
going to laugh at me. You're just going to send me memes and, and
I'm just going to
banter.
send you memes and banter and make it fun. But again, ultimately, it's all fun and you know, it's great. And then, again, shout out to Alexis. You know, we've been both fans of, you know, the Dallas Cowboys, the Texas Longhorns. Still follow them. Me personally, you know, may not be the same thing for you or whatever. But, again, we still have the same love for this football club, Hoesen FC. So it's
that's
almost
where the
like
heart lives.
I think that's where we're all coming together because he's a Chivas fan and America fan.
Yeah, we just continue to move it forward. And then, as Alexis said with you, Richie, like, I remember listening to the first episode and it was just you, right? Probably.
And David.
Yeah. And then,
rest in peace.
Damn.
Shout out to David. Yes.
Don't say
But, like, you
that.
know, it's evolved to where we're at now. And not only are you bringing just fans of the game, but people of the culture connected to the game. And that's my favorite thing about sport is, you know, not necessarily just, you know, the X's and O's and what goes on the pitch, but the people that gravitate together because of that game. And you learn so much about just different people from different walks of life like you've done. And it's been great to just listen to, like, oh, man, like, these guys love Hoesen FC. And then you guys bring on musicians, directors, you know, women who are promoting the game and are broadcasters, things like that. Like, just all kinds of things. Like, ultimately, like, the common denominator is football. And it's Hoesen FC, but then people are just doing all kinds of cool stuff. And I can easily say, like, as a fan, I've always thought to myself, like, damn, I want something like Otra Favor was doing. And you just came out and did it. And so shout out to you for doing it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to hopefully coming on again for another reason. But also, I just look forward to the next episode so I can listen to it and just see what you guys, who else is going to come here and share the time with you guys, because this is a cool thing.
Thank you.
I like what you're doing.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
That's
it.
super flattering, man. And
We appreciate it.
We appreciate it. All those words are super, super encouraging. And, yeah, we hope to continue to do this, bring you guys stories, bring you guys different perspectives, and bring you into this conversation of football and also beyond what's happening on the cultural and community realm here in Austin. So if you like what we're doing, if you like what you're seeing here, give us a like, give us a follow. Otra Por Favor at all major platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
Now you can email Jorge directly at jorge@otraporfavor.com.
Ah, there you go. He's got that email address.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. It's official.
It's official. Shoot me all that spam.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's going to be a badge.
The Nigerian Harika Prince. You want $100 million, but you have to give me your bank account and all that.
I don't know about all that.
1,500
I don't know. I'm gonna just hit
$100
the spam. I'm gonna hit the spam on that. But yeah, we appreciate you guys for coming on, and hopefully we can do this again. And I hope you guys have enjoyed your time here. And to Hoesen FC continuing their season, man. Like let's get it.
Let's go.
Let's continue to push the gas, and hasta la próxima.
Sing that Pepe Lana proud.
Se portan bien y adiós.
Adios.